All I like to see is to hear they all look the same. They all have hands and feet, how are they different? Keep looking for the path, she is lost in the mud and haze. Keep walking down the path, finishing her mission. Anyway, how to be, how to touch, how to understand. She's looking for what she's meant to be. Figure out how to be, how to see again. Put it back together from words and tales. Does she know which way is right? Does she know which way is wrong? She often keeps wandering in circles each time. Where does she come from and go? What does she want and chase for? She is lost in the mud, and which way will she go? The river is flowing, and where will she go?
Hello everyone, my name is Archer, and this is more Reverse 1999. How's everyone doing today? You're all having a lovely time. Today we have more chapter 9, and some friends of the stream, some of our friendos are going to pull for a couple of stuff. If I'm not mistaken, Aiden wanted to pull for Lopera on the scam banner.
Doctor, what on earth have I done wrong?
Hello, welcome. And if I'm not mistaken, Renata wants to pull over on... Was it Arknights? I believe so. But hello, Draggy, welcome. How are you doing today? Yellow. Actually, I want to check something out. Gonna first put this here, and I want to check if there's anything new over on the YouTube before I start this. Because I haven't actually seen or reacted to videos at all, I believe, this week. Good, I'm in the bathroom right now, so do with that information as you... Okay, I'll take it, and I will compartmentalize it, and yeah, neat. But yeah, so have a good one over there. I hope everything is coming out smoothly. Reverse 1999. Molly reaction? No. I could have. Okay, let me actually see everything that's available. Okay, this. You want the Molly reaction? Sure. Ready for Recoleta enjoying prison life? I am here always for it. Hello, Den. How are you doing? Happy to have you here with us. Before we start the stream, we have a couple of reactions. Then we're gonna react to Recoleta's Extreme Talent, Mo Deer trailer. That's a spoiler for people that don't want to be spoiled. Tune off for like 2.5 minutes. And Then we're gonna listen to the 2.6 EP. So, yeah, it's just her backstory, but it can be spoilery for people that want to be completely brand new to future characters. So that's why I'm just like forewarning people beforehand. But first of all, we have the extreme talent for Recoleta. Oh, what? Did the creators just 8x? Is this a takeover? What? Where's Ms. Nilbabble? Okay. Okay, it's kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Your eminent evilness. Oh, okay. Maze of Visceral Realism is such a cool name. And her ultimate, like, animation is very smooth. It's such a, like, that ultimate alone makes Sparkle, Recoleta such a broken character. Her Inside 3 outfit is such a cool one. That interaction is so OP. When people use their ultimate, she gets more moxie. It's such a convoluted but awesome skill. Supreme Symphonist. So anything she said is real then, right? We had other characters that wanted to have that ability, but yeah, probably she has the best version of it. Vile viciousness. First. Okay. That's a flawless plan. At least they are aware that she's a powerful weapon. Yay! I love the little one with the water gun. Oh no. Aside from one of moderate intelligence, the creatures remain intellectually undeveloped. Aww. I can imagine Tyler. It's day 30. I'm still amongst them, and nobody has recognized me. I'm a critter now. Neat. John Tyler as a carbuncle, can we have that skin? Can we make that happen? Because I would love that. So that was extreme talent for Barcarola. Damn it, why I keep calling her Barcarola? Recoleta. Because both of their names sound different. What did I just see? You just saw an extreme talent, which is the way that this game talks about their characters, new ones, and they try to do a little storytelling in the background. Yes, I am too Barcarola for Recoleta. Their name kind of sounds the same in my head. Sorry, that's why I keep just messing it up. Okay, enough of that. This is the Mo Deer trailer, the past, the present. Yeah, if people don't know Mo Deer, which is, well, I'm not actually gonna explain it. Just watch.
All right, Anna. Okay.
Also, hello Sandy,
I can handle
welcome.
things on my own now.
Hope you were able to sleep a little.
Xena will be tough. I know that.
Move it, slackers! Drop and give me 20! Up,
But I will persevere and achieve something.
down!
Get down!
That was a cool transition, by the way.
Lieutenant Muldeer.
Quite an achievement at your age.
Joking aside, I don't really care about all that.
Can I take a look?
All I've ever wanted
Aww.
was this. A home.
Just a peek, that's all.
You're lying. Oh.
And you've forgotten your manners in front of a superior.
This is the path I have taken.
Look so cute together. You couldn't
I will
even
follow
imagine that
it.
Lapera is now alone.
Once we make this choice,
Oh,
must
that's
wear
okay.
its
Sorry. They fixed the client nice because if you guys don't know, every time we close apparently, I thought it was just me, but every time we close the PC client, it crashes. So we need to force stop the game. I'm so glad that they actually fixed it. Thanks for letting me know, Noel. Also, welcome. Have a good one. Always nice to have you here. I know you're probably just dropping by, but I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. It's eager. It's eager. I was able to get some sleep, not as much as I would have liked, but hey, yeah, same. But we are alive, and I'm glad.
Come now, both of you.
Muldeer, your little sidekick's getting out of line. She has no respect for her seniors.
Molly!
loved ones will turn their backs. Our honor will be tainted, our brotherhood betrayed.
Oh, that's such a cool one. This game does art and aesthetic so well.
Yet this.
The
Is the
badge
only
turning into the
path to the future.
soldiers. That was such a good one.
I've always known it in my heart.
Those are her parents.
This is the path I have taken.
Yeah, they are doing some
will follow
crazy
it.
transitions on this trailer. Like those were just a very cool series of transitions back to back, and like that for me it's one of the coolest looking trailers I've seen in a while. Not and it's just like not very focused on the character itself in my opinion when it comes to just coolness. It's just a very cool looking because we're just talking about Mo Dear's past, but the looks of everything is stunning. 10 out of 10, really great quality, great design choice, great aesthetic eye. And okay, for the final bit of the starting point, we're gonna just take a listen to the version 2.6 EP, Folie et de Raison. And yes, my French is terrible. Okay, this is too loud. Okay, calm down. I love how everything is sectioned off with those books. It looks very aesthetically pleasing as well. Because everything about this whole chapter is about reading poems, books, reality, and fiction. There's also the theme of mental health sprinkled in there, because we know the hardships that Arcanists go through. Like, if there is such a thing as being on the spectrum when it comes to mental health, Arcanists are very far off into the. They probably are all in the spectrum some type of way. Some of them are just well better structured for um, society. And I love the violins in this. Like Barcarola, now I'm saying it right, would be proud. Like Cremona's finest. Oh, Olive. Olive's split personality still is one of the most interesting facets of this game. Like, it's so cool. It's such a fascinating character. Just love the vibe of this whole patch, including the start of Betty's anecdote. I just saw that came out yesterday, and I was like, cool, Betty. I hope that's a good one. Because it's like, I haven't done, I think that would be the first time that I do like a 3-star anecdote. Between the prettiest woman, Eternity, Calabuna, Druvis, and Molly have their fashion show off. Will the world gonna go boom? Yeah, when it comes to we're talking about woman, like woman body, huge, beautiful, statuesque model. Yes, they do come in mind. Eternity, Kala, Druvis, Molly. Uh, You can put because the thing is Nala, yeah, Nala is technically like feels like a child a lot of times, so it's hard for me to put that in the category. But she also has like the aesthetic beauty, which is a succubus. Hello, Aiden, welcome. I was actually waiting for you. We were reacting to some videos. Extreme Talent, Modier's trailer, the EP we just finished. Um, do you want to hop in into the stream? Onto Discord, sorry. It is. It is goodbye. When playing the events, I try to stick as close to recommended level as possible. Often, Bate hits um, like a truck and offers like, excellent defense. Oh, neat. And that's pretty nice. I can actually do that. Use Bete for her own event. She's not built or anything, but can be fun. Sure thing. Whenever you're ready. Yeah, just come here. I'm on the stream corner over on Discord. Hop on in, and we can give it a go. Also, Marcus is getting slendered so hard right now in CN. Okay, uh, can you explain that? What's going on? Okay, I'm gonna hop and change this to reverse as I wait for Aiden to show up. Oh, and okay, fun little updates.
Well,
Six
the
is
chair is
finally
in the
at
middle of the
Inside
room.
3.
Please, take a seat.
Yay! Now he can finally work with Nala like he was meant to be. I just need to put on the regular level 30. Finish the resonance as well. Hmm. Think. I think I still have points over here. I heard it's just power creep. I tried to ignore it. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, especially when it comes to the 3 stars, they are not like I know that there was a point in the game that it was a thing, but right now they are not really doing much. Hello, Aiden, welcome. Okay, let's jump back to the display and stream the Discord. If you can share your screen, I would appreciate that. Don't have my headset with me, so just right here. Yeah, no problem. Oh, yes. And I already see Jay. Pretty cool guy. Awesome. We are here. Okay, so for everyone else, I will only do up to 3 pulls. Yes. Uh, Aiden is trying to save up for Aleph. If I get a 6-star in Laswell, that will be all. Okay, that would be pretty cool. Like you have 3 pulls and you get a 6-star in Last Den. But yeah, I was just gonna say it's gonna be very hard for you to get Aleph with just that few pulls. But even though you have 11,000 clear drops, I just saw it actually. Okay, nothing good. Oh, okay. He just pressed the 8th. Was that a no? I think it's just, oh yeah, damn. I'm sorry. So yeah, I think we're just over the threshold of 3. I'm sorry, but that was a solid, and yeah, that happens often on the stream. People not getting what they look. I always say that the stream is kind of like this a scam banner by itself, but I appreciate you. Oh, you're gonna put for more? Okay, someone is feeling generous. Damn, I think that's more just 5 stars. Yes, DK and necrologist. Last one. Wish me luck, everyone. Okay. Damn. Yeah. I am sorry. This ended. Yeah. I appreciate that, Aiden. I'm sorry that he didn't make it. Uh, Again, I'm always sad whenever people do not get what they're looking for on this stream because I feel like, damn, is this stream cursed? But I always forewarn people. The luck whenever people pull on this stream is not the best. So I feel that somewhat I'm like it's part of it. I was so sure I would get something. I was hoping you would get something as well. I'm wondering if I should try to pull for Zolde, Melania, or Save. I feel that if you're split between all of those, when it comes to meta, Melania for sure. When it comes to aesthetics, if you're a very big fan of Isolde, yes, she's gorgeous, and she's very solid. But if you're particularly keen of any future units, let's save it. To see here, I was totally unhelpful. I will luck from your stream. Just need to play a gacha game first. I would dare you. I would dare, and actually, that's a challenge for anyone. If you think you can beat my stream's bad luck, come on in. Because I think it's just 2 added layers. Because the gacha games are already like built for you to not get what you're looking for. And then you have the added layer of my stream is full of unluckiness. So if you can come on stream and be super lucky and beat the stream, I would actually give you something if I had money, but I don't have. I would just show you my appreciation. Actually, what I can do is create the luck corner, a place where I can remember the ones that were actually successful to beat the stream's unluckiness, I will say. I will actually make a panel somewhere over or put on the description over. I'm gonna try to build something. That could be actually a fun one. Like the list of everybody that succeeded. So far, I think that corner is pretty empty. Meanwhile, me getting the double 6-star in Flutter page, Archer stream does bring good luck. Y'all just don't know how to harvest it. Yes, yeah, yes. That's a very nice way of putting it. I will say that luck is it's a reality bending skill, and my stream is a reality anchor. That's a term for from SCP, the SCP Foundation. If you guys are even aware what that is, the SCP is like this one like fictional writing website where people make up those like weird stories about like fictional creatures, urban legends, cool shit happening. There's some games over on Steam about it. And reality anchors. So in the SCP Foundation, there's a lot of reality benders. So people that can bend reality. And the Foundation realized that in order to create in order to bend reality, some particles and stuff happens and mess up with reality itself. So what they do is that they have what they call reality anchors. So a reality anchor just either pick reality from someone somewhere else and put in the current reality to fill up the gap that the reality bender is creating, or they pick the current bent reality and send to some other reality to remove the excessive particles. So it's pretty. So basically, we either take someone else's stability for ourselves, or we just put our shit in someone else's reality. It's kind of silly, but again, that's how we have to do it. Sandy's and SCP. I would love to read your file. If you ever want to write something one day, that would be fun. Give me Lavera or Willowback. Give me 500 Unilogs, then I shall. Just 500, that's cheap. Okay, now you guys are making me sad. Oh, I like SAP stories. The last day, I've read stories about highway SCPs. Oh, there's so many SCPs. Like I completely already lost grasp of the foundation because there's so many new SCPs now. And one day I think I will need to just catch up myself onto the new stuff. But I still love the concept. SCP Foundation, the backrooms, those shared community writing websites. For me, they're so interesting. They're so cool. Like for me, those are peak writing because you're not just doing it by yourself. You're doing it as a collective. So I feel you can create so many good stuff. But okay, enough of that. If I start talking about it, I will not stop. And we have Polier et de Région to get us. Also, I hope Verneto do show up because they said that they wanted to share some polls, I believe from Arknights, but I'm not completely sure. SCP, I read about one story where the skin cancer fucking kills you and revives as a zombie and turns you in. Yes, that is The Flesh That Hates. Is one of the most popular SCPs. It's literally what you just said. It turns into a flesh abomination that just wants to turn other people into more fleshy abominations. Still hilarious that our Latin American Arcanist Centurion is 1. Not in its main story, 2. Currently unviable, 3. Still has an arcane skill which gives her 100% good luck. Centurion is being done so dirty that is not even fun. Like, I barely hear about Centurion. At this point, I am not even sure that she is a 6-star. For me, it's a myth and a legend. For me, Centurion is a very far out 5-star that has been completely forgotten, and now people had convinced themselves that she's a 6-star, but nobody's using her whatsoever for any reason. Let's talk about SCPs. Do you have a favorite story? Shit. Okay. That's a good question. Okay, I need to remember names because you guys know that I suck at it. Okay, I'm trying. So, if I'm not mistaken, that's exactly what it is. It's probably SCP-3935. And there's a lot of SCPs related to this one SCP, 3935. So 3935 is a spatial anomaly centered on Salvation High School. And 3539 also creates other SCPs as a byproduct of itself. So there's a lot of SCPs that are tied to this one particular SCP. And I find it extremely fascinating, the whole storyline regarding 3935.
Oh,
and if I'm not mistaken,
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
it all stems from one girl that had a baby, and she was being witch hunted. And but I need to actually get all the facts straight before I can do that. Really confirm that. But 3935 is fascinating. We're talking about a high school where the weirdest things are happening all the time, and nobody pays attention. Like like nobody sees as different. Everybody is not surprised about random corridors going up and down, people like phasing through the floor, the reality of the school changing. So as the school day progresses, the weirdest things start happening more and more and more to crazy degrees. Right? For me, the storm in 1999 is really an SCP. Kind of feels like it, 100%. When Ming's bulletin still offered max units as assists, Centurion's best team was a lot of fun because reality damage synergy. Centurion, Gethian, Desert Flannel plus Eagle. Cool. And continue chapter 9. Sounds like the backrooms a little bit. Yes, so yes, because it's literally a location, but in term like, and yes, does sounds very much like backroomy, but there are some like entities and appearances and floating witches, and it's crazy. I love 3935. There's another one that is in my head, but I need to remember clearly before I speak. But yeah, guys, let's go to reverse, because again, if I keep talking about SCPs, I'm gonna dilly-dally this forever. Archer, read about my favorite SCP. It will make you love it. I will. I'm reading your SCP as we speak. The 1999. The End Mill. The truth is, no one can truly bend fate. Yeah, a lot of the story is also being centered about this keyword, fate. Oh, so this is more
La cabaña con el techo
Recoletos
azul estaba
writing.
silenciosa como siempre. En un sueño fugaz, la investigadora de paracausalidad descubrió la verdad detrás del dado de Babilonia. Examinó cuidadosamente los patrones ocultos, como un astuto astrólogo rastrea los movimientos de las estrellas. Lo que pueda parecer errores o accidentes no niega las verdades
Big
del
fiction.
destino.
Indeed.
Por el contrario, afirman su existencia. Solo pregúntale al gran Heráclito. En un
Heráclito.
universo no observado, el dado de Babilonia gira perpetuamente, dictando el destino de todos en un tiempo que es tanto infinitamente largo como infinitamente corto. Mira, cerró los ojos. Respetaba la aleatoriedad de los números y el destino. Respetaba el juicio del dado. De lo contrario, se habría perdido sumisamente en los huecos del tiempo y bajaría para siempre como un fantasma en el olvido.
That's so cool. This die literally like rewriting fate and bend on reality. That's my idea of the die of Babylon. In the Sylvan prison hall, under the half-light of the next day, the prisoners of Kamala gathered. Going back to Centurion, I'm surprised she didn't get an Euphoria by now, maybe because she's not very popular. But again, the idea of Euphoria is to actually make these characters playable. But Centurion is on probably one of the direst states in the reverse backlog of characters. Octavia steps onto the podium with an stern expression.
First, allow me to make one thing clear. I had absolutely nothing to do with what happened to the idealist yesterday. I swear it on my career as a writer.
I think another thing about this one event here that's happening right now that is making me think about SCPs as well is that yesterday the idealist got shot. Reality bent all over, turning everything into a garden, but nobody really cared about the garden itself. So I'm like, was that a real thing? Because it's not being brought up at all. And like, dude, Octavia was there talking with people. Like, how they think that she killed it? killed him or shot him. Also, we know that she's not that. It also hurts that Melania pretty much upstaged her as soon as she was launched. That basically is what happened to Noir, but people gladly still remembers Noir. Regarding this update, I would have loved to
An
have
apple a
Jaguar
day
as a
keeps the
playable
doctor
character.
away.
Yes, me too. So Centurion's
Federico!
tier prison is worse than Kamala prison, probably. I wonder why she wasn't added. I mean, well, we'll have a talking squirrel. Yes. Also, hello Veneto, I was missing you. I think you also wanted to share some polls in other games. I already started this, but as soon as I finish this one part, if you still want to do it, feel free to join us.
As you all know, the Idealist and I are the representatives of the two factions of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Américas. As you also know, we have been at peace since the Let Sleeping Dogs Lie agreement was signed a few months ago.
I still love this little like glitches that happen with some like words or phrases. Let the sleeping dogs lie. I'm grinding hard on Harvard Burns Red, so I'm alert because I want to have more than 40 pulls by time Charles SS2 comes. Oh yeah, the pulls are cancelled. I pulled for fun and got a 6-star, lost a 50-50 fun. Anyways, bye y'all. Okay, he comes and goes like a flash. Thank you, Veneto, for coming. Wish you luck on your grind over on Heaven Burns Red. See you in the next one.
Despite our differing views, we have coexisted to this day
thanks
under
for
the
the luck, by the
watchful
way.
gaze of the central tower. Rest assured that we will work tirelessly to locate the missing Idealist.
Don't put so much pressure on yourself, Miss Octavia.
Well, they
His
called
death
her a
wasn't your fault.
murderer, so of course she's putting a lot of pressure on herself.
After all, he was the one who threw the first verbal dagger.
Still, like, that does not own anybody to shoot him in May 3. The murmurs cascading below reach the ears of the prisoners from another faction.
Show some respect, you morons. The Idealist is missing, not dead. I'm sure he'll show up in one piece before we know it.
Better face the hard truth now, Roberta. Though, I have to say, it won't be easy for you to find a new leader as mad as him.
A polite cough from the hostess pauses the heated debate.
Please, everyone, quiet down. According to the agreement, today's Congress should have been chaired by the Idealist. Since he is still missing, I will be acting on his...
Pardon my lateness. Go ahead. I'm ready to moderate.
Unfamiliar footsteps break the regular pattern of events. The jailer leads her visitors to the entrance of the prison hall. And again, I do agree with what people said about the jailer. I really feel that she should have been like a 5-star. Like, she feels like a decent 5-star new character, 5 or 4 even. That depends on how you want to place her. I would feel her like a solid 5-star. Basically, chapter 4 dynamics was less professional. Yeah, in a way. Yep.
Miss Vert, I looked over the incarceration and visitor records from the past 6 months. There was no mention of anyone named Doris.
Yeah, less biting in the foreheads and things like that.
Then it seems only the physician knows the whereabouts of Dr. Dorez. Miss Jailer, we need to meet with the physician. It's important.
Oh, sorry, biting the forehead is chapter 5. Sorry, I was already thinking about the appearance. No. We're talking about the politics and the back and forth from these. Yep.
Listen, you really shouldn't take the inmates' ramblings too seriously.
Considering the identity of the person before her, the jailer softens her tone. I finished the story, so I will not spoil anything, but I feel that Kamala prison story could have been a bigger story. Okay. Yeah, I'll get there, because I do feel like this is probably gonna be something very like what's the term? Very um confined to this one person, and it's probably not gonna turn into something bigger. Also, I know what the chapter 2.7 and 2.8 kind of entails, so I know that nothing from this one is gonna be like affecting the other ones in a major part. Something like the Appearance trilogy, or at least a duology. Yeah.
But if it's as critical as you say, I'll make another request later. That said, I'm afraid the meeting won't happen for at least a few days.
Understood.
For now, please join us for today's Congress.
Espectacular! Do you hold literary salons like this every day? This place is practically a writer's paradise.
Hello, Clam. Welcome. Long time no see. Hey there. How far are you? I am still fairly in the beginning parts. I think this is part 8 or 9 of chapter 9. How have you been doing?
So, you're the host of the salon, Octavia? I say we set aside our differences and have a titillating literary discussion.
Titillating. I love that word.
You've come at the right time. You may serve as witnesses for the Congress alongside the jailer, like a citizen's jury in a court.
Your suggestion aligns with the congressional rules. Very well.
So yeah, this kind of feels like a debate. Almost.
Huh? Congress? Witnesses?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not what Recoleta was thinking whenever she
Isn't
joined
this a
in.
salon? Which topic are we discussing? Literary theories? Schools? Principles? Languages? Oh, narrative perspectives?
None of those.
Octavia lowers her head, giving her questioner a long and deep look.
This Congress is about the randomness of fate, Miss Recoleta.
Okay.
Randomness of fate?
As she sinks into confusion and bewilderment, the jailer's voice rises into a triumphant introduction.
Dear visitors from the Foundation, allow me to introduce the Kamala Congress.
Do you think that we'll get another Recoleta event in the future, like Tooth Fairy sharing the spotlight in Green Lake and London dawning after her character story? It feels possible. Think that we'll get another Recoleta event in the future. So, I haven't done Recoleta's character story, and I am not really sure. But I forgot to say, I got a funny Nanamin line, but I quickly tapped too quickly and didn't screenshot it. It was, welcome to Nanamin restaurant, table for one perhaps. I'm happy and mad sometimes. Okay, bye again. No problem, thanks Renato. But about getting another event in the future like Recoleta. So we're thinking you're talking because this is you're talking about the chapter or the character event. If we're talking about in depth of character event, I'm not really sure what happened in there. But yeah, I think a lot of that can happen about characters sharing. Oh, you're talking about the character in particular. Oh, okay. I think I believe what you're. I think I understand what you're saying. If we're gonna see Recoleta in a future event, I don't know. I think that's because what happened is, as far as I'm concerned, I am not positive. Just for what I know for future events. And I think what Aiden said kind of fits. I feel that a lot of this final pieces of chapters, so 2.6 and 2.7 and 2.8, when it comes to character-wise, they don't feel very... It doesn't feel like a clear continuation from one to the other. Like most characters are not being like taken around. As you can see, Moldir is gonna be someone that's gonna show up again, but most other characters we're seeing are not gonna be featured in again. Not too sure, because for Tooth Fairy and our Matilda, they are from the main Timekeepers team. Sometimes they feel that Blue Pod should just make one or two stories with existing characters. I completely agree that they create a lot of stories with characters and they are just lost. And if we can get a good luck, they would either show up in some side event, or they will show up in an anecdote. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that, Aiden, to some degree. That they should work a little more with some older characters, because we love to see characters that we enjoy coming back in future events. That's why Dan is saying what he's saying, and I believe that's why we're all talking about this. And I agree with Clem here. It's easier for characters. Technically, Matilda is not on Team Timekeeper. Tooth Fairy is, if I'm not mistaken, but Matilda's not. But anyone from the Foundation are more likely to show up in future stories, because of their directly tying into Vertin. And even though Matilda is not from Team Timekeeper, I think I talked about before, but I think Matilda has been featured in so many events by now that she should be a new team leader for a new group of investigators. Because you gotta remember, there's a lot of people that joined the Foundation after they met or interacted with Matilda. So I can see Matilda having a team consisting of Calabuna, Joe, other people that I think of Matilda met that ended up joining the Foundation as well. Like she can slowly build her own team, because again, she's not part of Team Timekeeper. She just interacts with Verting in some type of way. I mean, outside of anecdotes, I doubt we will see many of the existing 6-star characters. I agree. Frankly, yeah. And especially, again, if said character joined the Foundation, like, we know that Tuesday joined the Foundation, Jay joined the Foundation, I believe those characters are going to show up again. Like, if a story will be set in San Francisco again, I bet Jay, Mercury, or Puppeteer will not appear. Well, you're probably talking about not Puppeteer, is another name actually. Is a Precursor? No. Oh, I forgot his name. The puppet, the mannequin. Yeah, I forgot his name. Damn it, I hate when I forget names. But I get your point. I don't think we're gonna see them. Pioneer, yes. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see them again, especially because we know that Jay joined the Foundation at the end of To the Golden City. And Mercuria, I find her still a very fascinating character. I wish she show up, because I believe they can tie her in somewhere. But Pioneer, sure. I think Pioneer also joined the Foundation with Jay. I cannot be 100% sure of that information. But I believe we're gonna see Jay in the future. For sure. But yeah, if the character is not joined the Foundation, I cannot attest for their longevity. Like Tuesday will probably show up because her and the motel were taken by the Foundation. Jay chose to join the Foundation. Nala, even though she joined Timekeeper's team, I don't think she has been shown anytime in the future, so she will show up eventually, I guess. Yan Wei is part of the Foundation to some degree, so she should show up again. Also, Miss Grace is now the main antagonist, if a minor one in the grand scheme of things, but Argus is nowhere to be found when her search for Kayla is her whole thing. Agreed. I wonder where Argus is. Maybe working still as a mercenary? Sorry. Yes, again, we can... Sorry, let's continue this. Just because what you're saying is completely right, and I love that discussion. I also want to get the chapter going, because, like, if we stop here, nothing's gonna be done. But yeah, guys, keep talking between yourselves on the chat. We'll just move on with the story, because I think we've been sitting here for a couple of minutes already.
What happened
I
yesterday was
completely
merely a
agree
brief
with you.
anomaly. In the Panopticon, spontaneous order among the inmates is the norm, and the Kamala Congress serves as its truest reflection.
Spontaneous order?
Yes. Through the Congress, the inmates assign and distribute medication, communal duties, and rest periods. They are entirely self-regulated.
That's awesome. A self-regulating society, even though it's just like a prison, is fascinating, because I always felt that this could be a thing for the future. Self-regulating societies that can like impose their own rules and just kind of like delegate and survive. Her tone is filled with pride. I imagine.
I hereby announce the commencement of the 7th Gomala Congress.
As her words fall, Octavia takes out a worn lottery box and a small trinket from her hand. The prisoners move in perfect order like a swarm of ants.
A cardboard box, and is that a paper die? It has 20 sides.
Are they gonna play D&D?
Huh?
We carefully examine hidden patterns, much like an astute astrologer tracks the movements of the stars.
Isn't this...
From somewhere in the audience, the girl unconsciously mumbles a revelation.
Isn't this just like the Die of Babylon? The MacGuffin that weaves through the entire plot? The infinite symbiote of fate? And the symbol that compresses time into a shriveled circle?
What may seem like errors or accidents doesn't negate the verities of destiny. On the contrary, they affirm its very existence. Just ask the great Heraclito.
I love how hyped you are. I get very hyped about everything about this game. I keep telling people that when it comes to storytelling and things that are fascinating and just how much I care about Reverse, I do get a little passionate, so I can like lose myself. Yes, like the apparent. And I love those self-regulating societies because I love Shin Megami Tensei. And Shin Megami Tensei, especially the older games, they are basically post-apocalyptic Japan. So we have a lot of factions, and those factions, they self-regulate to some degree. And I always love that concept. That's why I feel like I love like post-apocalyptic stories, because they have a self-regulation. They have different orders, hierarchies. The pecking order is different. Yes, you heard. I'm just relating those some societies from Reverse to some factions on Shin Megami Tensei's older games. Not as well developed, for sure. Shin Megami Tensei could never develop their own factions as good as Reverse does. But also because like Shin Megami Tensei is trying to be something nowadays, especially, that is completely different. But I think a great example of that is Shin Megami Tensei 4. I think was the closest one that I saw about self-regulating societies, because literally the post-apocalyptic event happened, or the apocalyptic event happened, and society went underground and forgot everything from the surface. So we have everyone in the surface that's still one basically big faction, and everybody that's below.
In an unobserved universe, the die spins in perpetuity.
Yes.
Dictating the fate of all in time that is both infinitely long and
infinite short. Yes. That's so cool. It's basically the Schrodinger's cat, but instead of a cat that might be either dead or alive, we're talking about a die that's spinning and you don't know what the result is.
Look, I've closed my eyes. I respect the randomness of numbers and destiny. I respect the die's judgment.
This is basically every gacha player. every time we pull for a character. I closed my eyes. I respect the randomness of numbers and destiny. And I respect the gacha's judgment. Another 3-star. Nice. As the prisoners receive their announcements, the author's voice becomes more and more sluggish.
Otherwise, we will acquiesce and lose ourselves in the gaps of time and wander forever as ghosts in oblivion.
I love that Recoleta actually finished that phrase before Octavia.
I don't understand what's going on. Oh, but the irony that I probably have more idea what's going on than anyone here.
Miss Recoleta, this is all in your novel, isn't it?
I'm afraid so. The recitations, the references to an astrologer and Heraclito, they couldn't possibly be just a coincidence.
Yeah, that Octavia recited your words like word by word. It's kind of impossible to be just a coincidence.
Then, could it be? Will they look to the die to dictate their fate?
The girl's audible shock does not reflect the proceedings on stage. The congress continues.
I shall perform the first roll. Its result will determine the subsequent roll order for this Congress.
The hostess tosses the 20-sided die in the cardboard box and begins shaking it rhythmically.
The result is 5. This check complies with the prerequisite conditions of the ruling of the die, and the standard roll order has been established. Inmate Jose, please come forth. You are the first in the initiative order. Therefore, fate's judgment shall fall upon you before all else.
Me? Oh, okay.
Okay, very fun that Jose was the one chosen by the die. The prisoner steps forward, taking the fragile box in his hands, shaking it to roll the die of absurd something. The die stops, and just like that, a simple number decides his fate.
17! It's 17! Ah, what a wonderful number! 17! Like an oasis in an endless desert.
Sure.
The result is 17, and the score combination 6 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3. According to the ruling of the die, he shall receive 60 risperidone tablets, 40 clozapine tablets, and 40 diazepam tablets. Additionally, he will assume the role of cultural manager of the Comala Congress.
Okay. The guy's a pharmacy now. Stacked to the brim of tablets.
Before he takes office, inmate Jose must clean the first restroom for the next 7 days.
Wonderful! I'll gladly clean the toilet. I've got the brooms here, the toilet detergent, oh, and the toilet brush too.
Go cleaning, mate. Go crazy.
I have been waiting for this opportunity. As cultural manager, I will speak with every inmate and complete the Comala memoir, finally capturing the moments when literary sparks ignite and explode.
Next is inmate Eduardo. Please come forth.
The man in question is a nervous mess. His gaze flickers, his eyebrows fight for space on his forehead, and his teeth clash against each other in turmoil.
But I can't remember the ruling of the die. I can't remember anything. Damn it.
Do you need? Just put the die inside the box and shake it.
Sorry, Senora Octavia, but I don't think I can do this. I didn't get any medication in the last Congress. I've had multiple episodes. It's like my brain's jammed or something.
I think that's the issue with this one way that they doing stuff, is that you're randomly assigned if you're either gonna get medication or not. And like, I don't know if people that actually end up getting medication are allowed to even give the other ones their share. So like, this guy had nothing. This is a person with a mental issue that is not getting their medication because of luck, which technically is basically how normal world nowadays are running. I have plenty of friends and mates that are not getting their medicine because they don't have enough income to pay for it, which in a way is just the universe rolling a die and deciding, you're too poor for it. I'm sorry, darling. I wonder how they would have been perceived on a Payron Island. Certainly many of them would be irrational numbers. It's hard to dictate that one information about being irrational numbers, but I would believe that the Payron would love to interact with these people, because even though they might not be like number addicts, they are still like thinkers, for sure. The problem is I don't think that any of these people will be able to fit on the island because of its rulings. Beings, dropping things on the floor and picking things back up, all other like weird rules. These are people with very big mental instabilities. So I don't know how well would they fit in a society so well behaved as the Apeiron, as they are right now, for sure.
It's all right, inmate Eduardo. It's easy. You don't need to know the rules to roll the die. Give me your hand, I'll help you.
The prisoner follows suit, hands trembling as he shakes the box, the only thing he can do.
My sincerest apologies, inmate Eduardo. The die dictates that you must voluntarily descend into the sewers and write the thematic keyword that currently causes you the most anxiety on the walls.
Damn. Not only this guy is unmedicated, a complete mess, now this person needs to go into the sewers and write on the wall.
I thank you very much, Miss Octavia.
It's like you're being similarly punished.
I think my head's about to split in half. I need a moment to rest before I head down there and fulfill my destiny.
Clutching his head, the prisoner leaves. His steps heavy, his hands empty, but his brow finally falling at ease. Okay, I feel like at this point, this person was like, okay, destiny was chosen for me, so I won't have to think. That's actually a pretty nice like a tie-in into how a lot of communities deal with problems. Like, if I am not the person that needs to make the choice, if things are just chosen for me, I'm in peace. Congrats, not only will you head hurt, but we'll also have to do homework. Yes.
Jailer, are you really letting them make every decision with the roll of a die? Eduardo is clearly in a much more dire condition than Jose. The medication should have been given to him.
Yeah, but apparently they're not running based on necessity.
As I said, this is how the inmates of the Panopticon maintain order. The physician periodically provides medication, food, and other necessities, and the inmates distribute them in this spontaneous and efficient manner.
Well, I believe that really efficient and spontaneous does fit the bill. It's efficient because the order is already maintained by themselves, and spontaneous because they decided. But is that really good? No.
Neither authority nor violence is involved in this process. This is what sets Kamala apart from all other custodial facilities.
But it's fascinating.
Is that it? You abdicate all agency to the roll of a paper die and call it the randomness of fate? What kind of sick joke is this?
Reality. Haven't we all been dealt the die of fate whenever we were born? Genetic, social status, financial situation, location we were born, people we lived with, parents, animals, pets, studying, knowledge, talents, physical prowess, disabilities, mental health. We've all been dealt a sick die whenever we were born, and we're just struggling to shake it and see if we can get a better roll.
Please calm down, Recoleta. This is the method that the inmates have collectively decided to recognize. They're prepared to face the possible sacrifices that it brings. This isn't about you or me. It's not our place to interfere with a procedure that has been proven both pragmatic and effective. My duty is to assist the inmates in maintaining order through the methods that they have established. And yours is to witness their self-governance, not judge it.
Yes, they decided, they are okay with it, they are abiding to it. So, as an outside onlooker, there's nothing you can do anything about it but witness. See how these people self-regulate, see how they choose how to live their lives. I feel like this is very much like how people in religion do their stuff. Like, as an outside onlooker, I cannot agree with all their choices, but what is their choices? They are coherently making these choices. Are a lot of them people in a very dire mind state? They are desperate for anything to guide them? Yes. Is religion in a way, is God in a way their die being rolled all the time, making the choices for them so they don't have to worry their head so much? Yes. But I am not a person in the position to judge them or say what's right or wrong. I just look. I will behold it, and I will take it for me and make my own choices based on it. Yeah, it's all about how we work with the hand that we're dealt. Yes. The jailer takes a deep breath. Her words clearly meant to convince herself as much as anyone listening.
If everything somehow unfolds as it does in my novel, then every role was already predetermined.
That's the fun about Destiny. We think everything is random, but in a way, everything's already set in stone.
Burton, do you remember the story I told you last night? The odds of both success and failure were consecutively multiplied. I remember. As soon as a character experiences a failure, they continue to suffer failures in an endless chain reaction.
That's a fun thing. Me and my friend, we were talking about odds. And like a coin toss. A coin toss is 50-50. Now I just tossed my coin and I got heads. What's the odds that I will get tails on the next one? Turns out 50-50. Because the odds don't change with the amount of times you get heads. There's probability of heads showing up, but the actual odds are still always 50-50. So it's interesting that this die, differently than what normally would be, is just constant failure. So once you get a bad thing, you just keep getting bad things. And once you get a good thing, you just keep getting good things. Because for me, that's also a tie-in with how the world works. If you're sick and you're poor, it's like the odds are stacked against you, and you keep getting dealt worse and worse cards as time goes on. And if you're rich and you're famous and you're pretty, the odds of positive things happening to you are also multiplied. It does not mean that other positive or negative things can occur to you. It's just the likelihood of them to happen are lesser. But also, who is I to decide what's good or bad for you?
None of Eduardo's future dice rolls will ever result in
Or
a
who
number
am I?
higher than 10. At this rate, this system, this sociedad, ruled by the dice of Babylon, is bound to collapse.
Yes, if the die has been tampered with, and people are just gonna keep getting negatives or positives all the time, the same people, I mean, then yeah, this is not very much fair, even though they think it is. Looks around, realizing that her words, weighty as they seem to her, have garnered no attention.
Eduardo will never receive any medication. The moment he writes the keyword on the wall could very well be the moment he spells out his own death. No, I can't let this happen. I have to do something.
Recoleta rushes to the stage.
Wait, Miss Recoleta, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Indeed. Sorry, I believe this is probably one of... I think this is probably the first time I spoke so much in a reverse part. Like, actively spent more time talking about the subject than experiencing the story. Not that I didn't. It's just that this part was so fascinating, and the conversation we're having on the chat is amazing. Like, talking about fate and order and all those things are pretty cool. Transformation of quantity into quality is the greatest realization of the method of exhaustion. Treatments entry 303. December 1 numbers. Each person is uniformly allocated to 1 dose of chlorpromazine, sorry guys, and 1 dose of thalidomide. December 3 numbers. Each person is uniformly allocated 3 doses of chlorpromazine and 3 doses of thalidomide. Each person is uniformly allocated 6 doses of and 11 doses of. Interesting. What does this mean?
Few soldiers would appreciate the idea of taking orders from an accursed die. A skilled commander would never rely on luck to make decisions. On the battlefield, the distance for every maneuver should be clear and precise, not 2 numbers with a D in the middle. Unless you're looking to invite a mutiny. That said, if a die with such power were placed in a soldier's hand, I'm pretty sure they'd roll it and let it decide their destiny.
Yes. Luck won't always be on your side.
Exactly. There's no good luck without bad luck. Just as a coin must have 2 sides. Luck essentially defines one's entire life.
Exactly what I've been saying.
And whether it's make or break, life or death, the die will keep on rolling. Of course, dice aren't the only tools used to play with fate. Coins, lotteries, even shells on the beach can all serve the same purpose.
I think those are people trapped in the storm. They're trying to communicate, but they're rubbish at it. The voices that Virgin hears. I don't understand what these voices are, but it's not that they don't tell her anything important. Actually, I feel that they do tell her a lot of things, and they do clarify a lot of things for Vertin. I feel like if these voices are in Vertin's head, this is her way of basically understanding the world. Like whenever you talk to yourself. I don't know if you do that. A lot of times whenever I'm trying to think about something, I talk to myself. I sit on my couch and I start talking. I usually place my flowers very close because I really feel like they love hearing me just blabber. But I feel it helps me to think whenever I am putting my ideas out there, like I'm actually expressing them and hearing myself talking about it makes my brain work. So I feel like this is a lot of the same thing. These lines, these voices, these storytellers, these narrators help Verting to understand what she needs to do, what she needs to go. That's my idea. So it's not like they don't tell her anything important. It's just that she is structuring everything that's occurring in a organized fashion, so she knows what she needs to do.
Thanks to the randomness of fate, a Babylonian may rise to be a proconsul one day and fall into slavery the next.
Some tragedies could have been avoided.
Well, that's where historians come in. With a little creative editing of the history books, Even the random rolls of a die can suddenly make sense.
Yes. The winner, the survivor are the ones that can write the stories. The ones that lose and the ones that die, well, tough luck.
What were once avoidable tragedies are rebranded as reasonable incidents, or even desirable outcomes.
At least the roll of a die is impartial.
You're starting to sound like a gambler.
Thank you, I play gacha games.
But even gamblers, after hitting a hot streak or a losing spell, start to convince themselves that they've figured out the grand pattern behind games of chance. It isn't just gamblers either. Witches tried to influence fate through rituals and charms. Ancient mathematicians calculated probabilities on paper. Some even wrote books on game theory.
Game theory?
Meanwhile, others suspected there were cheaters among them. I just hope these high rollers unite to confront the demon who holds the laws of the universe, the past, present, and future, in its claws, and give it a well done and a slap in the face.
When it comes to like games of chance, gambling, and cheating, I always think about Kakegurui, the anime, that if you really remove the sexual innuendos and character displays, it's such a great anime, especially when it comes to just betting and games of chance, because Kakegurui is all about games of chance that are being rigged against you, and you need to find a way to unrig it in order for you to win. So it's not really a game of chance at all. It's never meant to be a game of chance. It's just a game of how can you get away with doing anything to win without people realizing that you're cheating. Isn't that what a lot of people do nowadays? They pretend that they are good, that they are following the rules, that everything is being played by the book, but reality, everything's being rigged by the outside. Even the biggest saints of modern society could be the biggest devils, playing in the backgrounds with everything in order to make them seem better, because who are we at the end of the day? Who are we that are being just puppeteered by the big corporations and money? We are nothing. We're just big speckles of dust in comparison of like their work. But you know, the first part in order to remove yourself from the situation is to be aware that you're in it to begin with. These points of the chapter feels like a subtle blue patch nod to spend responsibly, despite the game's genre. Yes, basically saying, guys, come on, do not kill yourself for a game of chance. And again, Reverse is probably one of the healthiest gacha games out there. Like, at least this is not a game that you need to go bankrupt in order to keep yourself afloat. Right, Fate Grand Order? You're talking in circles today.
Haven't I always? It's just that today, the die rolled a peculiar number. But all things considered, I prefer the other kind of commander. The die is cast. But regardless of what number has been rolled, it's time to cross the river.
Neat. Soothsayer World Maker. The goddess delights in toying with the piety of her believers. Again, luck, gambling, and religion, they really tie themselves very nicely with each other. Fate. On the stage, Octavia remains the picture of serenity as she orchestrates the Congress.
Miss Recoleta, as a witness to the Congress, you have the right to express your doubts calmly.
Listen, you...
Calmly. She recalls the complaints of her two former companions, the jailer's dismissals, and the confused expression of every editor she has ever faced. If she were to lay out every detail of her novel here and now, she would only get the same response.
No, it's nothing. It's just that I'd like to participate in the dice rolling ceremony. May I?
Of course. The very fact that you're standing here in the Panopticon proves that you share a common fate with it.
Recoleta surveys the prisoners waiting to cast their die. Their expressions are serene, untroubled, calmly awaiting their fate. The joys of misfortunes of those before them do not affect the long, winding queue in the slightest. Takes a deep breath.
It doesn't matter when I roll the die, since the rolls are simply a reflection of the randomness of fate, right?
Precisely.
Then I'd like to perform my role after the 27th inmate. Is that alright?
As you wish, Miss Recoleta.
Cool. So probably another like, very out there battle, I believe this will be. Phew, nothing happens. A small game that examines your luck. Roll a dice every round. Different numbers cause different effects.
Do you have any requests?
Let's go gambling. Yes, I love this mechanic. Isn't this why we're playing gacha games?
Bursting. Please enjoy.
Oh, nice. Looks like I'm lucky today.
That's spoken.
Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo.
Please. Listen to the melodies of wind and waves.
Do I have to do this?
Nothing happens. You almost got that right.
Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo. Cosmología, filosofía clásica, el fundamento del mundo.
That's what it's all about. Life or death battle and victory.
Neat.
It seems fate favors you, Miss Recoleta. Here are your supplies. Please be sure to follow the distribution rules of the Congress. This is an essential structure of Comala, and a belief shared by all its inmates. Honor it.
Yay, gambling is done. I made the experience that Flutter Page is OP against these 1 HP targets. With her passive, she can land 2 damage in 1 hit against them. Oh, neat. Good discovery, then. It makes sense.
Just as I suspected. These supplies belong to me now, Octavia. I'm free to use them however I please.
He's gonna give to the person in need. Oh, I like this. I like this. Recoleta is starting to learn how to play the game. You cannot just stand outside of the game and just start spewing to the world. This is not fair. You put yourself in the game and you start to make your own pathway inside of it. You cannot change how the game is structured just from the outside. You need to get your hands dirty. You need to soil yourself in order to start making the changes happen. That's why I do say to people that if you want to make big changes, you gotta put yourself in a position of putting yourself inside the places that you don't want to be, if that's what you really want to do. Or stop going on Twitter and spewing nothingness over on the universe. You're not gonna make any change. You're not gonna help anyone. You're just gonna make yourself self-serving. You're just gonna feel happy because you're putting energy on the universe, but not actually doing anything in order to change anything at all.
Here, Eduardo. Take them.
Hit shield enemies easy to deal with them. Both Flare Painting 37 and Impromptu. Yes.
But I haven't fulfilled my destiny yet. These precious tablets and capsules, I can't accept them. They are gifts from fate. The die has placed them in your palm.
Yes, and her palm is placing it on yours. By making my own rule, my first and only rule is that give me your unilogs, all of them. I wish I could. Actually, I wish you could give me some of yours as well.
But I don't need them. You do.
Thank you, kind senorita.
The prisoner's trembling stops. He blankly pinches his arm as if trying to distinguish reality from dream. Then, all at once, he snatches the medication from her hands and shoves it into his mouth.
Eduardo, what's wrong? Are you taking the medicine right now? There's no need to rush. There's plenty of it. You can have it all.
Por Dios, Eduardo! How could you squander fate's gifts like this? Kind señorita, please, give me the medication. I need it more than anyone else.
No, I'm the one who needs the most. Give me the medication. I beg of you.
And welcome to the Pandora's box of need. Once you put yourself in the position of helping other people will look for your help.
With the protection of these amulets, I might finally be able to get a peaceful night's sleep. No more trembling floors and wailing ghosts.
The prisoners shove and struggle, countless hands reaching toward the hapless writer, trying to snatch the small round pills of salvation.
Enough! Enough!
A blue glow spreads through the room, forcing the prisoners to clutch their heads and fall down to their knees. Their riot comes to an abrupt halt.
You shouldn't have done that, Miss Recoleta. Your ignorant generosity could shatter the very basis of our survival.
Ignorant generosity. Seeing generosity as a bad thing is fascinating because we all put it in our heads that being nice, giving back to society, helping the others is the way to go. But I will say, as someone that I really like, I never fake the fact that I'm a people pleaser. I like to make people happy. I don't like to see people around me sad. So I like to help them with what I can do. I don't have many skills, but with what I have, I like to aid. But whenever you put yourself in a position that you help someone, it makes so they are used to receiving your help. And the problem is, it's hard eventually to say no. Because then people can see you with different eyes. Once you start helping them and you suddenly stop. But at the same time, you would think that eventually someone would start doing things for themselves and not ask for so much help. In my humble opinion, sometimes people just keep asking for it and asking for it because it's easier to just shortcut yourself into asking for help than to do the long distance and learn. I appreciate whenever people learn and do things for themselves, but a lot of times it's just not a thing. Ignorant generosity? Well, that's one way to say selfless. The pills dissolve into a stream of voided sand, vanishing as it pours through her fingers.
We have never had such chaos at the Congress. Understand this. We rely only on the randomness of fate to distribute supplies and assign responsibilities. If you disrupt the status quo, the entire system of the Panopticon will collapse beyond repair. It is only by respecting the arbitrariness of fate and adhering to the rules of the Die of Babylon that we have kept this place functioning all this time.
The Die of Babylon?
Even the name.
How did you know this name? Are you the one orchestrating this whole thing?
Recoleta, equally confused and furious, grabs the hostess collar.
¿Podría ser? ¿Eres Aleph? ¿Tal como sospechaba Verdun?
Let go of me, Miss Recoleta. Have you gone mad? The roll of the die is absolutely random. I'm not orchestrating anything. Before the Congress began, I made an oath. I intend to keep it.
Please, calm down, Miss Recoleta. I think she's telling the truth.
She lets go of her grip as the reality of their situation dawns on her.
Sorry, Octavia, but please, you have to tell me how you learned about the die of Babylon. I must know. Only my pen pal and I should have any knowledge about this die.
I heard about it from the physician. He described it as a symbol of collective consciousness that we could harness to maintain immaculate order in the Panopticon. The Comala Congress was coined, iterated, and perfected by the physician based on this concept.
The physician again. Everything eventually leads back to him. Just as we suspected.
I see.
It is selfless though. Recoleta isn't a patient. She doesn't require the meds or didn't have to pay unless we consider her participation in the Sociedad a form of submission to its rules. Well, she is trying to do what she feels is right, but at the same time, doing what she feels is right may disrupt again the order of how everything is working. Because it's not that she is going outside of it, she is playing by the rules. She shook the die and she got the medicine just how everybody else did, but she just decided to give it away because she doesn't need it. That is, in a way, selfless. But I can pose a question to you then. If you get satisfaction from being nice, if you're happy that everybody around you is happy, if you're producing chemicals in your brain that makes you good, feel good, because you're doing something positive, isn't you getting something out of this equation as well? Is really something, if you're doing something for your own gratification, does that still makes your action selfless? Whenever I help other people, I feel good about myself. Am I really selfless? Am I not doing this on purpose because I'm also getting something out of it? Isn't the whole idea of doing something selfless is that you're not getting anything out of it and you're just doing everything from the pureness the pureness of your heart? That's always something that I keep in my head, is that nothing is selfless. Everybody's doing something for something, even for own satisfaction, even to be judged as a good person, even to feel the happiness of helping someone else. Everybody is getting something out of anything. Everyone is looking for something. Now, being okay with that information is what is important, and defining what is right or wrong is also important, because right here we can, as outside viewers, see Recoleta's action as something positive, but inside that is not being seen as positive. So again, the perception and the rules change based on your medium. Where you are right now changes your vision if something is good or not. Which then means that no selfless act but dying for someone else is truly selfless. Dying for someone can be, in a way, judged as selfless because, you're not really getting anything out for a long time, but at another point of view, you're getting something out of it even if you're dead. You're dying for someone, you're dying for the bliss of thinking that your death means something. You die with the idea that your death is now make someone else carrying your torch. Again, even if with something as finite as dying, you can see that as you being self-serving yourself, because like I think a very good explanation. This is a very contentious information, so I want people that are hearing to really pay attention to what I'm going to say, so things are not taken out of context. Talking about sensitive subjects like taking your own life away. People have their own reasons on doing that. But for the people looking towards bliss, people looking towards freedom, because a lot of people are going through hardships on their lives, either mental health, physical health, financial health. A lot of things can add up and make you take your own life. Will doing that make you self-serving? In a way, yes. But is that, the thing is, being self-serving is something that society made us see as something negative. Because I don't particularly see that being self-serving, doing things for you, doing good things in order for you to feel good about yourself, shouldn't be seen as something negative. Because that's what society puts in your head, that every single action that you want to do towards goodness need to be followed with good intentions, and that's not always the reality. The reality is there's a lot of people doing negative, bad things for themselves all the time in this planet right now. I'd rather have more people self-serving, doing positive, good things for their own selfish reasons, than not doing anything at all. I would rather you to take a stance and take a side and make a choice than not choose at all. Abstaining for one's choice is for me the worst choice someone can make. In my opinion.
Jailer, we have to meet with the physician in person. Now.
As I've told you many times, Dr. Merlin is too busy at the moment. I couldn't possibly trouble him over a novel and a pen pal. They are just fantasies.
Couldn't you make an exception? What if they're not just fantasies? What if they're tied to the very survival of this place? Miss Recoleta said the Panopticon could collapse because of the Die of Babylon.
Are you seriously telling me you believe that nonsense?
It wasn't nonsense, nor are they fantasies. You saw with your own eyes how I won the die roll.
It was just a coincidence.
The jailer's words are at odds with the subtle motions of her eyes and face. The Foundation's investigator sees a prime opportunity to apply pressure.
What if we present you with stronger evidence to prove it's more than just a coincidence? If everything in the Panopticon proceeds according to Miss Recoleta's novel as she says, she should be able to predict what happens next, including the roll results of the absolutely random die.
That's right. The Die of Babylon isn't random at all. It's nothing but a supercilious fraud veiled under the guise of fate, and an actor of the inescapable loop of history. And not one of you is paying attention to me whatsoever. Ugh, to hell with this era of ignoring unknown writers.
Oh.
Miss Recoleta, please make your prediction for the next inmate's die roll. This way, you can prove to Miss Jailer the irrefutable connection between Kamala and your novel, The Rise and Fall of Sanity.
And again, I hope nobody is taking whatever I'm saying too much to heart. I am just opening a discussion. If anybody wants to jump in on chat and have a nice debate about it and discussion about it, I would love it, because I do find this subject very interesting. I am just posing my opinions and how I see it, and a lot of people will have disagreeing ways of seeing everything, and it's nice, it's cool, it's positive that everybody has their own views on what's right and what's wrong and what they feel is how everything works. And there's not really a right answer. It's just how you see the world in how you navigate it.
You finally remembered its name. Oh, what sweet balm to my spirit.
Miss Octavia, please continue the Congress and let the next inmate perform their role. Then Miss Recoletta's statement will be proven true.
The hostess of the Congress remains non-committal.
I appreciate the reminder. No matter the interruption, the Comala Congress must go on. Though not for Miss Recoletta's sake, of course. Next inmate, please.
Following the dice designated order, the next prisoner steps forward to roll.
Hello, inmate Garcia. You know what to do.
Of course.
La sexta cara. Un pilar roto. El flujo de la fortuna y la calamidad.
So the result of the next roll will be a 6.
Our prophetic precision plunges the hall of new encounters into breathless silence.
As fate reveals, the number is 6.
Just as Miss Recoletta predicted.
That could still be a coincidence. Do it again.
La 13ª cara. Una cadencia desconcertante, sin un verdadero principio ni fin. La 4ª cara. Un hombre que se ahogaba usó el último de sus fuerzas para nadar a la seguridad, solo para descubrir que había confundido un espejo con la superficie del agua.
Garcia looks like the Batman haircut meme guy. Garcia looks very cool. For me, he's one of the coolest designs of NPCs of this place.
La 17ª cara. Cojeaba hacia el distante oasis, solo para que la débil humedad y la
And
inquietante
the Batman
quietud
haircut meme,
revelaran cruelmente
I
que era
don't
un
know what
espejismo.
you're talking about with that information.
La 6ª cara. Otro pilar roto con grietas idénticas a la última. Confirmó la hipótesis de la investigadora de paracausalidad. Este lugar solía ser un edificio circular.
Is that enough? I've almost finished the entire chapter.
It's not possible.
One coincidence after another begins to stir into an uproar. The coincidences appear endless.
Who are you?
I'm sorry if this comes as a shock to you, but I did warn you, Octavia. Now it's proven. The Die of Babylon is anything but the so-called randomness of fate.
Have you been sent here by some god? Or are you a hobby prophet?
Hobby?
Have you brought this knowledge to save us? Or to shatter our beliefs? Our world?
A question destined never need an answer. She lets her eyes fall into a cardboard box and onto the 20-sided die. The ridiculousness of its nature becomes starkly visible.
What is this thing in my hand? What are we? What is this prison?
I don't know if it's some kind of sorcery or arcane skill, but it's unfathomable. I'll take you to the physician. Not because of your earlier request, but because the situation has escalated beyond my means. The overseer of the Panopticon will decide how to handle your situation.
To be honest, Miss Recoletta, I wasn't sure you'd be able to correctly predict everything.
Timekeeper, are you saying that you risked everything on a hunch?
It worked, didn't it?
Come with me.
I love
Dr.
this.
Merlin's office is in the central tower.
Let's prove that this is not just random and luck by trying out my luck. For her part, the now vindicated writer follows at the end of the line, letting her
En la sexta versión de mi novela, todos en el pueblo
mind
mueren a
race like
causa
a
del
bullet
lado de
train.
Babilonia. Porque solo la muerte puede cerrar el ciclo de la historia.
Oh, she was a confirmed gambler for a while, pulling people out of the loom in the water.
Y carcelero, eres el empleado del banco, ¿verdad? Entonces, al final, también sufrirás un colapso como el empleado del banco, cuando se da cuenta de que él y el pescador de dunas son la misma persona. If all of this is tied to the rise and fall of sanity, then, as its creator, I will get to the bottom of this.
Neat. I don't think I had so much thought process on reverse for as in a while since this one chapter. Like my mind is racing with all the hidden meanings behind and just everything and talking about it. It's very for me. It's very nice. It's very stimulating. The boundary shatters, and an astrologer glimpses an unspeakable truth. This is more Doris. After that, I attended several more literary salons and wrote things I had never dared to write before. Miss Octavia, however, never made an appearance. I didn't see her for quite some time. It was until I followed some prisoners to a large hall and heard her voice among a group of unfamiliar inmates. She noticed me and greeted me warmly. She told me she had been working on some new initiatives. Told me of her hopes to gather more support, to improve conditions in the prison, and initiate a spiritual shift towards realism and resistance. I truly believed back then that everything was heading in the right direction. Before all eyes, the host of the assembly, the idealist, steps up to the podium. By the randomness of fate, we have gathered here to participate in the Kamala Congress. Before the eyes of destiny, historians and astrologers alike, I now declare a new rule amendment. A duel before a crowd of eager eyes. The winner awarded 10 pounds of gold, and the loser left with 10 flies to descend upon him. Before the Kamala Congress convenes, we shall assign 2 members of La Sociedad this noble mission, a duel decreed by fate. Doris hears the faint clink of a small object rattling inside a box. Jose, Julio, step forward and draw the sharpest blade of your literary thought. According to the rules, I will preside over this duel with fairness and impartiality. Now, prepare yourselves. The absurd, fictional, metaphysical duel ends within a fraction of a second. The victorious prisoner receives 10 shining golden pills, while the loser collapses to the floor. The crowd erupts into chaos. Octavia cries, rising above the noise.
What's going on?
Julio, he's having another seizure.
Miss Erd, please, Julio needs your help.
Octavia, you know this is all part of the randomness of fate. The randomness of fate? She doesn't argue back as she usually would. Instead, just stands frozen in place, as if stunned. What's the matter, Miss Octavia? This is an emergency. I require your assistance. Answer me, Octavia. Why are you trying to change Julio's fate? Because no one should die like this. I would just pose back to the idealist a question. Is me changing the person's fate not part of its fate at all? Isn't fate already predestined to happen? If so, changing something wouldn't change the actual outcome, because the outcome is already dictated.
I don't want him to die.
Please, Miss Octavia, help me so I can help him.
Her voice cracks, leaving only the sound of her stifled sobs lingering in the air. What's wrong, Miss Octavia? How's his condition now? Miss Octavia? She remained silent. After a long pause, she cast the heavy stone into the bottomless water. Miss Erd.
Mr. Julio is gone. He left us the moment the duel was over.
How could that be? Seizures can potentially lead to irreversible brain damage. But how could it happen so fast? A precious life gone so quickly, swept away by something so senseless, lost in a nonsensical duel. What exactly is this no so-called Congress? Some kind of punitive system unique to Kamala Prison? But how can someone's life be decided by something so absurd? Are we simply meant to surrender to a fate so twisted, no matter how absurd it is? It is so unrefutable. This isn't the fate I seek. It's a distortion of it. It's my fault for not finding a better way. I used to think Miss Julio didn't care about anything but his own novels, and never imagined my ideals would mean anything to him. But he was the first person in La Sociedad to support me. But that really was an irreversible fate. A fate granted to Miss Julio by the Die of Babylon. The Die of Babylon? Her question is left unanswered. The host of the salon goes on. Julio has stepped off the endless staircase and reached the silent water. He has become as calm water, dissolved into his own pond. Let us offer our blessing, our silence, or farewell to this martyr of fate. And let us imagine that Julio's literary career was a happy one. The hall remains deathly silent. No applause, no response.
A life is taken, and that's all you have to say?
Is fate really destiny? Does fate really do have an unlimited blade work? Does fate have heaven deals? Does fate apocrypha? And is fate really a grand order? Those are very good questions, Draggy. And all of you, don't any of you have anything to say? Why are you all just standing here? I will say the answer is Reggie. Fate is just strange and fake. If we hadn't kept rejecting the physician's treatment, maybe Miss Julio wouldn't have. Rejecting? How ridiculous! You have no clue what the demon in human skin is capable of, how he'll reach into your mind and mold it like clay, reshaping it until it becomes your prison. In the realm of fiction, fate, and reality, the dissolution of the ego is inevitable and irreversible. Therefore, we must not resist the ending dealt to us by the Die of Babylon. Do you even know what you're talking about? I've never truly understood you, idealist. I will find a better way. I must rewrite this tragic tale. If you disagree, then leave La Sociedad. I will not have our great poem disrupted by an offbeat syllable. Besides, your tedious talk of social responsibility should have been purged long ago. Modern Latin America belongs to visceral realism, and you're too ignorant to even attempt to seek it out.
What a ridiculous, laughable man you are.
Yes, I see it clearly now. It's your tyranny that has driven everyone to ruin. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not leaving. I will establish a new literary movement right here in Kamala, right here in La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. And we will use our literary to rescue the inmates who suffer all around us.
I've had enough of your condescending stone-hearted ego and your pompous sophistry. He'll only bring misfortune upon us with his constant rambling about that visceral realism.
I hope I never see you again, you again. Point. Miss Ard, we have to get you out of here. Another second around, this maniac might just doom us all.
Only the physician, the true overseer of this prison, can save us from this situation. Please join our society, Miss Torres.
Help us build a renewed society de poetas together. I've already spoken with the jailer. As long as we follow the rules and help them manage Kamala, we'll be free to discuss literature.
Forgive me, Miss Octavia. While I truly appreciate your kind offer, I'm afraid my conversation with the physician must remain private.
Why?
Please, answer me this question first. From what you've seen, you say this prison is circular in shape, yes?
Yes.
Then, tell me, at the center of this structure, is there a watchtower? What? Impossible. You guessed it exactly, and our destination is somewhere inside that watchtower. How did you know?
I've had such a lovely time here. So much so that I almost forgot what I came for.
Which is precisely why I must put an end to this cruel farce masquerading as fate. Do you intend to rebel against the watchtower's gaze just like the idealist? You misunderstand me, Miss Octavia.
That inescapable gaze, and the permanent theme of fate.
To get closer to the truth I seek, I have no choice but to meet the administrator that young lady spoke of.
You've decided to save the people here with your own hands, in your own way, and so have I. There are things I must face alone.
Though she is well used to death, the pain of Julio's passing still lingers in her heart, causing her to say these words that don't quite feel like herself.
I see. Lend me your palm. I'll draw you the way to his office. Good luck to you. And to all of us.
Farewell, Miss Octavia. I truly hope all goes well for you in the days ahead.
As Octavia retreats, slowly fading into the distance, she quietly adds,
And in your journey, finding answers about fate, too.
yes, fate is all of that and more. Things still to come. Okay. Behind the operating curtain, what disrupted this era? What unraveled this time? What unraveled time? The shadow lurking in the ruins answered. Madness. Oh, I would love some grilled cheese sandwich. Do not play with that, Dan. That's a very harsh fate that I cannot abide to, because I lack bread and cheese. An otherwise tidy room is covered in fine scratches and small unidentifiable stains. The smell of disinfectant lingers in the air, mixed with mildew.
Wait here a moment. I'll report the situation and your request to Dr. Merlin. However, since he's always busy, I can't guarantee he'll agree to meet you. But I'll do my best to persuade him.
The Jaguar's figure slinks out through the inner door.
Now's our chance, Sonetto.
Our chance? What do you mean, Timekeeper?
We can...
It's unlikely that the jailer will let us search the central tower, even in this situation. We should take the initiative and look for clues while she's away.
I see, Timekeeper. I will do my best.
Thank you for your assistance, Miss Recoleta. Without your precise predictions, we wouldn't be standing here now. I haven't yet grasped the connection between the die, your novel, and what's happening in this place. But by process of elimination, it's almost certain that your pen pal, Aleph, is right behind this door.
Sometimes I envy your decisiveness, Vertin. I'm sure many people have praised this special talent of yours.
Are you alright? You don't seem as excited as when we first entered Kamala.
Recoleta holds her gaze on the tightly shut door, uncertain whether she hopes it will open now or ever again.
The all-seeing sentinel of the Panopticon, veiled within the central tower. If it truly is Aleph, I don't know how to face such terrifying and increasingly plausible reality.
That we say goodbye, Dragate.
Sorry to interrupt, but... Timekeeper, I think you'll want to see these.
Sign Erd. This is a letter from Dr. Dorez.
The delicate signature matches the one in the manuscript folder.
Her handwriting. It's as beautiful as I'd imagined. Who is it addressed to? Dear Mr. Aleph. Aleph?
Looks like Dorez and Aleph are acquaintances. Or at least, they've had some correspondence. Dear Mr. Aleph, my apologies if this reaches you at an inconvenient time. I am Dorez, pen name Erd, an ordinary inmate of the Panopticon of Kamala. I write seeking your guidance, if you wouldn't mind offering it to me.
I heard from the physician, Dr. Merlin, that you have the answer to every question. A statement which has been echoed by the idealist and the other inmates. I have something I wish to ask you. What exactly is your role at the prison? Chief Warden? A secret backer? An observer who dominates the prison? Are you truly the supreme ruler of the Panopticon of Kamala?
They tear open the next letter, eager to read on.
Dear Erd, I do indeed have answers for every question, including yours. I'm afraid every one of your speculations is off the mark. I am merely an inmate who chose to imprison himself here. And allow me to point out that your identity isn't as ordinary as you claim. Why is it that you, my fellow inmate and guest of Manus Vindictae, are so interested in Kamala?
Dr. Dorez, a guest of Manus Vindictae.
A muffled chattering of glass interrupts their reading.
It came from inside the room. Do you think they're okay?
The jailer and the physician! What happened?
The door defies any attempt at an answer, sending all
I'm
the
not
events
sure,
from view.
but it could be bad. Come on, let's go in and see if they're all right.
The unlocked door leads to another room, more decrepit and oppressive than the last. Cold operating table lies in the center, surrounded by scattered bottles and medical instruments.
It seems we've stumbled upon the physician's...
The physician's office. I should have known. But is this an operating room? As if this prison wasn't bizarre enough already.
Inside the narrow operating room, the Jaguar reacts badly to their intrusion.
Didn't I tell you to wait outside? What do you think you're doing barging in like this?
We were just worried about your safety, jailer.
Enough. Get out of...
Quiet.
The reptilian complex governs all our fundamental functions. Our heartbeat, breathing, fight or flight responses, and our territory and hierarchy awareness. Our primitive ancestors, like reptiles and birds, followed such instincts to survive. Through millions of years of evolution, we developed the limbic system. This processes emotions and forms memories. It allows us to feel fear, sadness, anger, joy. Our behaviors are given meaning. Now it's the neocortex that makes up more than 2/3 of our total brain volume. Language, perception, logical reasoning, abstract thought. This is what forms the complexity of human nature. We read, create, perceive. We try to understand both the world and ourselves. We offer, and all this, these multitudes, happens within the confines of the skull, in the tight folds of the crowded cerebral cortex.
Is he performing surgery?
Such a delicate and elaborate organ. Were it unable to forget, what would come of it? Can this space, no larger than the palm of my hand, truly accommodate dozens of people at once?
At last, the physician sets down his operating scissors and needle, signaling the end of the surgery. Yet at the same time, the old machine issues an alarm, signaling that his patient's vital signs are wavering.
What's happened to the patient? It looks like he's dying.
Her anxiety rises as the question goes unanswered. On the screen, the last waveform disappears, leaving only a constant, flat tone.
¿Fracasó la cirugía?
Nonsense. The surgery was a tremendous success. I have erased his debilitating hysteria and restored order to the panopticon.
Yes, he's dead. No more hysteria.
What are you trying to achieve by barging in here?
The man behind the operating table stares at the uninvited guest, expectantly, but does not give them a chance to respond.
Forget it. The next operation requires my attention. Jailer, show them out. Bring me the next patient in 15 minutes.
I'm sorry, Miss Burton. I'm afraid you have to leave now.
Recoleta steps forward, blocking their path. There is a hint of pleading in her voice.
Please, just let us speak with you. It'll only take a moment. I have something very important I need to ask.
Her question is not given time to take shape.
Important. Nothing is of greater importance than my experiments in the Panopticon, outsiders. To ensure they continue, the stability of time and schedule is absolutely paramount.
Experiments in the Panopticon? So you really are the controller of the prison, then?
Controller? What an outdated notion. Superficial, really. The Panopticon has no need for such power, regardless of who occupies the central tower, or even if no one's there at all. Every inmate is both the observer and the observed, both wielders and subjects of power. Achieving such a state requires no physical or violent measures. The structure of the Panopticon itself is the mechanism which sustains it. Kamala is simply a manifestation of this model. Once I confirm its feasibility and adaptability, this model can be applied to any functional setting with only minor modifications. So far, it has proven to be far superior to any current system of governance in our world. Transcendental, even. Curse it. Why am I wasting time explaining this to you? Time is running out.
The investigator keenly senses the key within his words.
Dr. Marlin, you keep mentioning time. What exactly do you mean by that?
Really? You need to ask? Even those oily-headed lunatics know it. The end of this era is imminent, is it not?
Indeed. The word that was so close to being spoken.
You know about the storm?
That's what you call it, is it? A storm that washes everything away? You employees of the St. Pavlov Foundation should know better than I. Soon, this era and everything in it will cease to exist. I must prove the feasibility of the Panopticon model before this place is turned to ruins, or something even more unrecognizable.
A storm that washes everything away? Vertin, what on earth are you two talking about?
Conversation extends beyond even the most imaginative creations of the aspiring writer.
No one can predict the era to which we will be reversed. I have seen the eras change time and time again. The transformation of this place, over and over. But no matter which era each of these 9 storms, as you call them, has taken us back to, Cordeismo continues to plague this land. Dependency theorists, martyred revolutionists. I've seen them all. You, young writer, are no different from those intellectuals who were swept away in the rain. There is no romance in this era. Only the repeated cycles of madness and brutality.
No romance.
An endless, meaningless struggle. Only in this forgotten corner can we momentarily escape the plundering of the marauders and the chaos they unleash. Although it won't be long before this place is looted by those oily-headed lunatics. Just as it has countless times before, on this land as rich as silver.
He mutters to himself.
But there is still hope. Even in a wasteland, we may still be saved, as long as I uncover the path to transcendentality. I will find the ultimate answer. Ugh, I've already wasted far too much time on you. Leave, now!
The physician turns away, beginning preparations for the next surgery, organizing his worn-out instruments.
You heard him. Please don't press things any further.
All right, Senor, I get it. Obviously, you don't want to discuss my novel with me anymore. So I won't insist upon it. All the letters we wrote to one another, all those inspiring revisions and suggestions, I guess they meant nothing to you.
Her voice wavers. Rejection, closed doors, harsh critiques. This proves more devastating than all of them together.
But there's still something I must tell you. Jailer, could you please allow us a private conversation with the No, with Aleph.
Hearing this, the physician stops.
Leave us, Jailer. I'll spare these outsiders 5 minutes.
Honestly, until this chapter, I forgot that the storm isn't widely known about, even by arcanists. What would Verting have to do if an arcanist on her way doesn't believe it? Rescue by force? Arrest? No. Free will. Because you gotta remember, now we have the umbrellas. So if someone wants to be rescued, all the Verting needs to do is give the person an umbrella. And the person should be okay through the storm. Now, will they want to be rescued by the storm? That's the best question. Will you be okay leaving your era behind and everybody that you know? A lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people would just decide to just be washed ashore, taken in by the storm. That's my opinion. Jaguar turns to leave, her face revealing an uncharacteristic sorrow as she lingers on the girls one last time. This time she offers no words. Hello, Dragon Slayer, welcome! Long time no see. I know you usually just show up whenever I stream for, like, at a later time. I think probably morning time is not the best for you. But I'm glad you were able to show up. I am doing swimmingly well. This chapter that I'm playing right now on this game is fascinating and is making us, especially me and Dan here, go in a lot of deep dives about, well, a lot of things. So it's pretty fun. So I will say this apple is doing very well. But how are you, Dragon Slayer? Master of the Labyrinth. Within the corpse of the labyrinth's builder, he proclaims, it is and has always been perfect. Only the steady keeping a heart monitor keeps the eerie silence at bay.
Dr. Merlin, or should I say Aleph, I don't know why you're using my novel to manipulate the Panopticon. But you need to know that it won't serve your purpose, whether in fiction or reality.
Yeah, I had to wake up because my cat started to vomit on the end of my bed, so not my best day. I'm sorry. That does sound not the best. Yeah, I hope that's not a big thing for you to take care of. I can imagine to be woken up by that event is not the most pleasant. But hopefully the stream I will be doing today can change my day around 100%. Usually whenever I'm not feeling the best, streaming does put me in a different headspace.
You claim that the inmates are both the observer and the observed, and both wielders and subjects of power. How could you be so blind as to not see the true state of the Panopticon? The inmates haven't achieved any perfect order. No, they've devolved into pitiful caricatures of themselves, performers in some endless pantomime to be watched from the central tower. Even their medication has become a prop to demonstrate the so-called randomness of fate in the theater that is the Panopticon. This farce hasn't made the Panopticon a better place. No, it has warped it into a twisted theater of cruelty, where the sick are denied treatment and left to quietly perish in the dark corners of its halls. And literature has died alongside them. This prison is a monster, born under the gaze of this all-seeing power. Aleph, is this truly the ultimate answer you've been searching for?
The physician suddenly seems startled, stepping back and accidentally knocking over his tools.
What? Are you suggesting that this is the answer I've reached?
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Thank you for
And I've been
reading
too
your apple of
blind
the
to
day.
see
I
it?
appreciate.
No. Impossible. Foucault's theory is flawless.
Having his life work denied is something he cannot tolerate. The man searches the tabletop with feigned composure, but in doing so, he unintentionally sweeps all the surgical tools onto the floor.
I have removed every obstacle to the running of this prison. It is pure, sacrosanct. I have constantly re-evaluated the system, adjusting my instructions to my subordinates to ensure the most efficient maintenance of the established order. And now, you stand here and tell me that everything I've done has been meaningless from the very beginning? That the power model I have implemented has already been replaced by an alternative? No, outsiders. The perfect order of the Panopticon shall not be disrupted. I will not be swayed by your lies. This facility is superior to all others. Nothing here escapes my notice. That said, it isn't easy to work a miracle, as we all know. I shall personally verify it all myself.
Ooh, neat. Okay, reality bending. All his emotions dissolve as he grips the die. Sounds existentialism. There's a lot of thought schools being played on this one chapter. It's all over the place. Hello, Fraziza. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing fine. Yeah, this one is a doozy for sure. The narrow operating room shakes as if responding to him, emitting a distorted screech.
What's happening?
Visitors from another era. You have come here with plagued ideologies in an attempt to break the subtle balance of the Panopticon. But did you not notice the tiles beneath your feet? The cracks and water stains on the walls, constantly changing right before your eyes. This room, the previous room, every room, you have blindly wandered through them, seeing them as nothing more than the building blocks of a monotonous labyrinth. But this place was not born from the chaotic imaginings of a madman. No. Every inch has been crafted through the meticulous harnessing of order and power. Every wisp of spider silk drifting in the wind, every speck of rust on the gallery rail. Every detail of the Panopticon has been built by my own hands. With this ever-shifting die, concepts may be transformed into reality, and ideals into substance. I observe the movement of every entity, the passage of every second. The moment you entered this realm, you too became subjects of my experiment.
That's so cool. Okay, my guess is the die is one of those several artifacts that have been stolen from the Foundation. I don't know if what I'm saying is true. It might not be one of those things. It might not be one of them. But that's my guess for now. The die was one of those artifacts stolen from the Foundation, and for some reason it fell into this place. It's certainly dense. You could use it to write a dissertation so thick, it's a blunt weapon. 100 freaking %. 100 freaking %. And this is the team that I'm gonna be using now, and just for funsies,
are you seeking my service?
I'm gonna use 6.
Well, the chair.
Because there's
is
no, like, even though like it's not perfect, it's still fun for me to try it.
Oh, I got it now.
Admit it. This is all getting out of hand. Impossible! All is under the die's control. What may appear to be chaos is nothing more than a temporary deviation.
He is completely losing.
The moment of silence.
Just another shift.
Keep calm.
Benefit from reading.
Flee, mortal! These sheets are my wings!
Yes, it does.
Perfectly understood what I'm good at.
The moment of utterance.
Feel my dark embrace. Laundry time. Flee, mortals!
It's special, precise, perfect.
It is far from perfect. You know that as well as I. Why else would we be conducting this experiment?
Finally, it's just you and me, Master.
Next part of it is creepy. This isn't. Hello, the first code. Always nice to see you. For me, this is not like okay. I know for me it's very cool looking aesthetically. Like I love this. This is the type of game that I dive in. Like you can see for my new like model. Like I like my things twisted and kind of weird and haphazard, but there's thought behind it. I didn't expect to see this background in OST again. The ending of More Punk was bittersweet, but still leaves me shaken, still tearing up just thinking about Kumar. Yes, for me was the highlight of the whole Journey to More Punk because it was a cool one, but for sure the ending and everything to do with Kumar, it's still you can and also can be triggering for a lot of people because of the subject. It's the only time that we see someone take their own life on this game. Not the fight. I meant the scene before that. Very well, very well. But again, this is so cool. Like I am loving this. The die warping reality is neat.
This happened when
There's
the
one
idealist
background
was
here
attacked
right now is straight out of Tuesday's Motel.
To think we've been trapped in a prison fabricated by a die all this time. Did the physician really build all this with such a small, simple object?
The distortion is getting worse. Prepare yourselves to fight or flee.
The situation begins to spiral out of control. Now everything in the room screeches and twists until they become a mess of meaningless black and white lines.
Please, Dr. Merlin, stop this!
No. You're asking for the impossible. Power model of the Panopticon is destined to permeate all of society. Such insignificant interferences could never plunge it into chaos. But it already has, Merlin. You failed. I have not failed. As long as I keep the prison running.
Okay, I love this because this is split personality in the most visceral way, pun intended. Because I've been playing Heaven Burns Red and we also have a split personality character over there, and she completely switches even her look whenever the personalities switch from one another. But I love that the physician is just having a conversation to his other personalities, and it's just like it looks like the same person. There's nothing, there's no gimmicks, there's no shininess, there's no change of appearance. It's just someone broken inside. Split, if I can even say that. The pros of this game is great. This game has so many great things. The physician fiddles with the die, muttering baffling and incoherent words to himself.
It isn't your power model running the prison. It's the die.
Right?
It's simply a form of magic, unrelated to the microphysics of power you seek. It provides no aid in your experimentation with power. It's a false hope. A castle in the sky given to you by the military junta and Manus Vindicte.
Manus Vindicte?
Well, that was kind of predictable.
So you really are working with them. What exactly do you intend to do?
Then I've also failed. I've ended up a pathetic fool, lost in the chaos of reality. Just like the idealist chasing visceral realism. Paracelsus
seeking the fountain of youth, and Zahir obsessing over the one-sided coin.
Nice. Those are great references.
When did it all start falling apart, Aleph? When the doorknob loosened? When the prisoner's wounds started to fester? Or when the daily disinfectant concentration reached 28 milligrams? Or the crack in the second gray brick on the wall expanded to 6 millimeters? Or was it when Warden Tartuffe left Ushuaia with news of the Foucault Association's dissolution? This place should have been the ideal ground for psychoanalytic practice. Why did they halt all research, all discussion? We've been abandoned, haven't we? By eras old and new, you designed and have maintained everything in Kamala, right down to the smallest of details. But it is these details that trap you. And as the bars close around you, you are losing your name, Merlin. And you're becoming a physician. A man forever imprisoned within these walls.
You should hear yourself.
I don't understand. All these false eras are like a dreadful novel with no conclusion. Trying to find answers within such things is, in itself, a mistake. Much like them, you are destined never to attain transcendentality. Tell me, Olive, does the ultimate answer even exist?
The die becomes too heavy for him to hold any longer. It drops to the floor. And everything warps back. The distortions and tremors of the prison finally subside, as if the pulse of a massive heart had stopped for an instant. Amid the swirling dust, the girls help each other stand, but fail to notice the truth revealing itself before them.
Timekeeper, are you alright? Yes, and you? And Miss Recoleta? Are you okay? Miss Recoleta?
The smoke clears, but no one responds. The named girl simply stares in shock at the figure before her.
You're...
The word utopia derives from Greek. It means no place. People cannot understand the structure of the labyrinth, yet they continue to follow its paths. They cannot comprehend the mechanics of fate, yet they believe in its jurisdiction, as if, by doing so, everything will naturally fall into place.
So cool.
And now, the polar night approaches.
I love this design. Aleph's design probably is my favorite out of the 3 versions.
How good it is to see you, pen pal.
Ah, so neat. Aesthetically cool. Okay, the mask in the mirror. This design is great. That's the main reason. Like I love that I ended up making it impromptu, because it was the main reason I wanted Aleph. Is just I wanted to have it and actually use it. And now that I find myself in the position that I can do that, it's so cool. I cannot wait for him to jump in. He's probably gonna show up in the next few days. I'm pretty sure. The mask in the mirror. Between 2 mirrors hang a single object. 1 face, 2 faces, cascading into the infinite.
Where did the physician go? Wait. Sir? Are you?
No one notices when the unfamiliar prisoner appears. He seems calm and almost ordinary, like an unchanging mirror that has stood here all along in this room, in this labyrinth, passed and seen by everyone. The answer she now sees plainly makes her step back into a panic. But in the end, she says the name out loud. Its sound is heavy, cold, and leaves her at a loss.
Aleph, it's you. My pen pal. You are, in fact, in Comala. All those letters. All the ideas we shared. They weren't just my imagination or some prank. Vertin, Soneto, it's all just as I told you. They weren't meaningless. They're all real.
Yet, why does she feel no joy?
So, sir, are you Aleph, the ruler of this prison? Are you the one controlling the panopticon with the die? The one hiding Miss Dores's whereabouts?
What curious inquiries. Quite different from the last 2,666 questions I've received. My guests, you may call me Aleph, or by any other name, be it a symbol of God's oneness or a farcical epithet. I am merely one of the many prisoners who voluntarily reside here. A single letter in the alphabet of the panopticon.
A letter? The way you speak is quite different from Dr. Marlin. Still, I wonder what your relationship is with him.
Under the dim light, the man looks drained of all energy.
But allow me to make a guess. You're Dr. Marlin, aren't you?
Huh? Oh, what? I couldn't see that one coming.
I'm afraid that's not entirely accurate. But you may think of it that way. Merlin is a figment born of my mind, an incomplete reenactment. He is me, yes, but not entirely. He, or rather they, failed to find their answers. They fought against their predestined fates, only to be inevitably crushed under their weight. I simply stood by and watched it all unfold. That was the extent of our relationship.
They?
You've already met Merlin and the Idealist, even witnessed their demise. Shackled by the delusions of verses, the Idealist lost his own name. Merlin, too, imprisoned himself within the system of the panopticon. I'm sure their desperate pursuits caused you some trouble. Please forgive them. After all, your fleeting encounters led to the demise of them both.
I think I understand now. The Idealist and the Physician are both parts of you. Or, to put it another way, they're your alter egos.
It seems the jailer's diagnosis that the whole prison is mad has been shown to be more accurate than anyone could have imagined.
The Physician mentioned Manus Vindictae. What's the relationship between this prison and the Manus?
Visitors from the Foundation. We all witnessed those eras perish. In 1977, not long before the fourth storm, I arrived in Ushuaia. Shortly after, some members of the National Foucault Studies Association reached out to me. But it wasn't just them. An arcanist organization called Manus Vindictae also approached me. Each of them wanted answers. They named me their advisor.
Okay, so basically Aleph was approached for the same reason that everybody approaches him. Aleph knows a lot. He's a intellectual, a thinker. He can answer people's questions or at least give them insights.
You acted as an advisor to the Manus?
The two parties presented me with a concept and a parable, respectively.
A concept and a parable?
The Foucault Association sought to explore the feasibility of the panopticon concept here, while Manus Vindictae showed me a parable of the past and future. Day and night, I wandered through endless texts, endless realities as I searched for answers. And thus, Merlin was born. He was both an experiment and a price I paid. A new concept, a new direction. Pursuing such things always leaves me confined by the limitations of human knowledge. Merlin spent his entire life exploring Foucault's theories in pursuit of that singular yet infinite answer.
What about the Manus, Mr. Aleph? You didn't explain why you helped them.
Explain why? Because they asked me to, just as you have. I simply worked to answer their questions.
So you're saying that, to you, we are no different from Manus Vindictae, and if we ask, you'll answer us, without holding anything back?
Is that not precisely what is happening this very moment?
I like it. Completely neutral. Not picking sides. No good, no wrong. You ask, he tries his best to answer. Aleph picks up the falling die. It flickers with a familiar, comforting glow.
This is what the Manus gave Merlin. A magical die named the Tear of Kamala. It was once a gemstone that belonged to a god. At the beginning of the century, explorers plucked it from an ancient gate they discovered in Antarctica.
Oh, okay, so we're harkening back to Antarctica.
To the explorers' amazement, the gemstone could turn human desires into reality.
And I was correct, is reality bending.
So they cut it into a die, a symbol of fate, and used it to build a sanatorium, which was later transformed into the panopticon you are standing in right now.
What a waste of a gemstone that can make reality bend, but sure. His words are direct, yet they still leave the outsiders perplexed.
Then, Aleph, you really are the mastermind behind the panopticon?
The silent girl grips her notebook. Her knuckles turn white from the pressure. The draft of an unpublished novel, with words that only she knows, the countless hours spent at her desk, self-reflections, the meticulous questioning, revisions, and scrutiny of every word. That book holds the life of its writer.
You said Merlin used the panopticon to seek his answer. What does that have to do with my novel? I don't get it, Aleph. Why would you use my novel to manipulate this place? Roberta, Garcia, Octavia, Pablo, the jailer, everyone. Not one of them deserved to be trapped in a deadly loop in which everyone's fate is already predestined. They're just like the ghosts in Amalfitano, inescapably trapped within the ruins. Tell me, what is it you really want?
Hearing this, the lonely prisoner fidgets with the die, looking puzzled.
It's not about what I want. It's about what you want. The third line of your first letter. You said you wanted to give the rise and fall of sanity an ending.
Oh, he did all this because he was looking towards for the ending. He was crafting the ending. Probably. Aleph. The mournful, the grotesque, the sum of self and self.
Los registros históricos del Dado de Babilonia aún se pueden encontrar en la biblioteca de la Universidad Santa Teresa. No. Una apertura como esta haría la historia demasiado ambigua. En 1975, en el pueblo de Amalfitano, Sonora, México, ocurrió algo terrible y escalofriante en la cabaña con el techo azul. Todo comenzó con las costumbres peculiares de los Espera, ¿cómo supe todo esto? Necesito agregar un rol para el narrador. El cuentacuentos.
Storyteller.
Un poeta surrealista de México me contó esta historia. Una anciana entró en el bar, al que solía ir en el pueblo. Al mismo tiempo,
el empleado del banco también entró al bar, trayendo la noticia de que una corporación multinacional iba a construir una fábrica de jabón de galletas en Amalfitano.
Espera, empleado del banco. No sabía que había bancos en Amalfitano. Pero sí, tiene sentido. Los bancos comerciales son, sin duda, un sello del capitalismo. Gracias, amigo por correspondencia. Antes de convertirse en empleado del banco, era un defensor de las antiguas costumbres del pueblo. Era un pescador de dunas.
Después de aceptar el destino otorgado por el dado de Babilonia, eligió dejar todo atrás. El triste y aterrador pueblo y los ciclos ocultos dentro de la infinita aleatoriedad.
Okay, I will praise Alep's voice actor.
Pero también es realista. Ahora solo necesitamos un personaje contrastante.
Because I do believe Recoleta's voice actress is Argentinian, so she can speak very clearly the Spanish, but Alep's clearly is not. So I feel like I can hear the accent of probably an English-speaking person speaking in Spanish, and they are not very fluent at it. But I still like it. It's pretty neat. I appreciate whenever people they try their best into doing another language, and it's probably the canonical as well. Like Aleph is not from Latin America. I hope he's not, but he still makes his best work to speak it. So that's pretty nice. And he knows how, he has a great orthography, and he knows how to write. So that's also another thing.
Una anciana tejedora se sentó en su antiguo taller, girando incansablemente su rueca, un regalo precioso, otorgado por el dado de Babilonia.
La tejedora ciega relató suavemente todo lo que había vivido.
¡Qué idea brillante, Aleph! Una tejedora ciega no podría haber presenciado el asesinato. ¡Fantástico! En este caso, agregaré a un conductor de burros que es asesinado en este capítulo. Con cada una de tus sugerencias, la historia da un paso adelante. Gracias, Aleph. Pero todavía no veo ninguna señal del final. Es como si no importara cuántos personajes nuevos agreguemos. Todavía falta algo en el pueblo desértico. Le falta una figura clave. Aleph, ¿qué debo hacer? ¿Cómo le doy un final a esta historia?
How do I finish the story? That was the key answer that caused Aleph to do a lot of things, clearly.
Tú misma me preguntaste, ¿cómo le doy un final a esta historia? Me describiste cómo tus palabras se habían transformado en un rompecabezas desmesurado infinito, un lenguaje irreconocible, una colección de información ambigua y una parábola que había perdido todo su significado. La ausencia de un final aún te roe, atrapándote para siempre en ese abrasador pueblo desértico. Todo lo que estoy haciendo es intentar encontrarlo para ti.
¿Estás diciendo que has estado manipulando los acontecimientos en el panóptico desde que intercambiamos cartas por primera vez septiembre pasado?
She struggles, vainly hoping for him to deny it.
Sí, cada vez que revisabas la novela, se hacían ajustes correspondientes en el panóptico. Reflejar fielmente las complejidades de cada detalle era clave para asegurar que la historia avanzara sin problemas. Estos ajustes los manejaba principalmente Merlin, a veces el idealista, y antes de ellos, Zahir y Paracelso.
¿Cada vez?
6 versiones de la historia del Amalfitano ya se han desarrollado en el panóptico.
Eso significa la rana aplastada en el barro, la vaca muriendo de vieja, el lirón cayendo al mar, el fantasma asesinado en el duelo y los cambios repentinos al dado de Babilonia. Todas las revisiones que sugeriste, todas las muertes, el caos y la locura, ¿realmente sucedieron aquí mismo?
The ever-knowing prisoner falls into a long dark silence. He will not answer a question when the one asking already knows the answer.
Incluso la eternidad tiene sus límites, o Recoleta.
I've heard a few fellow players compare the Aleph Recoleta situation to Chapter 6. What do you think? Compared to what in Chapter 6? You can elaborate further. Because I'm thinking about Chapter 6. So you're probably talking about the relationship between Isolde and Caconia, right? What else is a comparison between the fact that one is a crazy person and the other one is a more sane person? Because the reality is, Aleph, all that Aleph has been doing so far is to provide answers to people. That's it. Very simple. Nothing outside of it. He's using the die to shape reality in order to find answers. That's it. The only link that Aleph has with Isolde is just a shattered psyche. That's all. They are completely different characters, and I cannot find other links between them. When it comes to Recoleta, she's very even farther than Caconia, because Caconia all just wanted to help Isolde. She is a doctor. She is Isolde's doctor, so she was seeing her patient just fly away from her, and clearly she didn't know as much as she wanted to. She knew about Isolde's psyche, but she didn't even know about Isolde's link to the Manus Vindictae and every other terrible thing that she was behind of. In terms of Recoleta, she didn't know about Aleph doing all those terrible things with people here in the Panopticon, but she does not have a deeper link with him besides this one fact of Aleph was doing all that and she was just looking for answers. She doesn't have like a very big invested reason for Aleph besides everyone else has reasons to be around Aleph, seeking answers. Definitely a potential Aleph is Isolde parallel, yes, and Marcus and Recoleta being focused on literature. Oh, so we're not even mirroring Recoleta to Caconia. We're mirroring Recoleta to Marcus. Then for me that's even farther off, because Marcus and Isolde had no relation to each other in any sort of way. Marcus was only seeking, and in a way, Marcus was only seeking answers in Vienna, and it just so happens that Isolde had the answers inside of her. So if you see that way, sure. Isolde had the answers inside of her, similarly how Aleph has the answers to Recoleta, and both are based on literature, sure, 100%. The way that those answers are conveyed, of course, are different. Marcus seek in Isolde's memory the symbol, while Recoleta is seeking on Aleph the ending of her story. So yes, there are some similar links to both of those, but I feel that it just really falls into coincidence, in my humble opinion. Those are very similar to characters interacting to each other, but I do feel like it's just very coincidental. I feel like they wanted a literary character to be the main theme, because even though Marco's whole thing is reading, that wasn't Marco's whole shtick. Marcus was just a very shy little girl, using her ability to the best of using her arcane skill to the best of her ability in order to find the answers that she was looking for. Recoleta is all about being a writer, a failed writer at it. Similarly to Kakania being a failed psychiatrist, almost. She doesn't have a degree of it, but she's very passionate of, and she is seeking a lot of validation and to interact with other people and seek their reality. In order, I feel like we can, besides looking for answers, I feel like Recoleta is closer to Kakania than to Marcus, in my opinion.
In the 6th revision, we added the Blind Weaver, an extraordinary figure.
But yes, I think like if you really see in a vacuum, they are very similar, at least when it comes to those two characters. The structure of the rest for sure is not as similar. Also, because they lack a emotional link between both of them, you cannot have this gut, visceral, emotional feeling similarly to how you were feeling whenever they were interacting, Kakania and Isolde. Hello, Kanzite. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, raiders. Welcome. My name is Archer. We're playing Reverse 1999. It's a gacha game about a lot of interesting, cool stuff. And we are right now just talking about this very interesting character on our screen right now, Aleph. Because he is, believe it or not, plot twist, a crazy person. Or maybe the sanest of them all. There's always that thin line of where delirium becomes the reality and where everybody else is actually delirious. Hello, Archer. Hope you're having a great day and a great stream. Got a raid and run. Sorry, hun. Got dinner to fix up. Awesome. I hope you have a great dinner. Thank you so much for trusting your community onto me. I hope you have a great one. I appreciate the raid always. And yeah, have a good one. And yes, again, welcome everyone. Let me just do a shout out for Kenzite. Great supporter. Thank you so much for the raid. Very nice. I think I've never been actively on your stream for too long, but I cannot actually wait to seek you out. I hope you guys do give Kenzai a follow. Roz, thank you so much for the follow.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
And redeeming your apple of the day. Contemplative blessation. Oh, damn, that's a bot. Damn. Okay. What? What? Okay. I am a silly person. Okay, this is done. Okay, sorry, I do everything through my cell phone because like I don't have two screens. So I have to just shivel and dabble with stuff. Okay, here. Guys, please. Go follow Kindzite. If you're a supporter of me, you should support everyone else that also supports me. They were playing Golf with your friends. That's cool. The closest thing that I've ever played Golf related was Bungia, which was an old Golf MMO. Funny or not, that's actually a thing. I don't know if anyone here ever heard of it. I'm an old person. I feel older whenever I mention games that are long dead. But it was cool. But yes, I hope you guys do enjoy. There's a lot of interesting stuff on this game.
Just like the paracausality researcher who carries a suitcase that you introduced in your 7th letter.
And also, don't shy away from ask questions. If you've never seen Reverse before, it's a gacha game with a lot of thought-provoking subjects in it. So if any of you are interested and like, oh, what is this? Can you explain me further? Go ahead and ask, and I'll be more than happy to solve all your questions. I'll be your Olive.
The paracausality researcher carrying a suitcase. Miss Recoleta, is this character really based on the Timekeeper?
What? Of course not. The paracausality researcher is an entirely different character.
Don't you understand? We're only one die roll away from the ending.
Aleph lifts the core of the infinite labyrinth. The tear of Kamala swirls slowly in his hand.
I don't. What on earth are you trying to do?
Yep, he's looking for the ending. The filament lamps of the operation room dim in the time with his motions. The walls ripple like water, then transform into countless mirrors. Within the mirrors, an endless stream of information appears. That's so cool. A seemingly possessed telephone babbles, an old radio sings, a flickering slide projector whirs and cracks, a muted film projector spins, a timetable opens, and dictionaries of countless languages flow past. A room without an exit, an eternal predicament, a prisoner's dwelling.
Recoleta, it is the cycle of fate that has brought you to the panopticon of Komala.
So yes,
in Ushuaia.
this is the real room. The room that they were in, the room where the Merlin act as a physician, was actually this padded room where Aleph habits.
Now, return to the rise and fall of sanity. Return and become a character once more. You've been searching for its ending. But how could you possibly find it when you're no longer inside the story? I believe that this time you will witness the grand finale with your own 2 eyes. No more sadness. No more loneliness.
In my idea, Aleph is almost a djinn from the lamp. You rub it 3 times and you ask for your wishes, and the djinn will try its best to give its own interpretation of your wishes. Not always what you were looking for. That's why you need to be very careful with your words. That's what Aleph is doing right now with Recoleta. He is granting her wish, not in the exact way that she was asking for to be answered, but in his way, which is fascinating. Is puppeteering with people all around him, bending reality in order to seek out the answer.
The answer you've long sought lies in the inevitable final.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yay, thank you for redeeming your apple of the day.
So,
Wabbajack.
the jailer is the bank clerk, and Erd is the blind weaver. But
hello.
What about Roberta, Garcia, and Octavia?
I do fancy myself a good Wabbajack every now and again to bonk people in the head and do some crazy things. But hello, welcome.
They weren't even assigned roles. They were just playthings, helpless in the face of fate. What right do you or I have to decide what happens to them? To dictate their gains and losses?
But they couldn't possibly understand such a thing, could they? To you, it's just a story. But to them, it is the manifestation of bittersweet destiny.
Do you think hiding behind the guise of fiction absolves you from the reality that you've turned the Panopticon into a living hell?
What is reality whenever you can bend it?
Yes. You're the only one who truly understands the rise and fall of sanity. Goodness knows how many manuscripts I sent out that never received a reply. I was so grateful to you. For your replies, for understanding my novel. Those things were more precious to me than any sunrise over the Andes. Had I known that your feedback was created in such a way, and at such a cost, I would have preferred not to receive it at all. Don't you get it? Even if they don't understand my novel, the people I meet are still my friends. Whether we took a long journey together, or we simply chatted for a few hours, we formed an inseparable, miraculous bond. They're a part of me. How could you treat them like fictional characters? It's disrespectful to my work, and to life itself.
The writer's resistance is so sharp that it cuts through Aleph's carefully constructed labyrinth easily.
But you raised the question yourself. Why do you resist receiving its answer?
Yes, everything about Aleph is answering to the best of his abilities. And now someone is saying, basically, I don't want these answers, especially not this way. He lowers his head, and for the first time, cracks appear on that indestructible mask.
They're always like this, aren't they? They throw a question at you, only to abandon it along with the fading of the era. This storm will spare no one. You've known it all along, Alice. Only the timeless Panopticon can maintain control. The all-seeing tower. The perfect governing system. What a hopeless fool you are, Merlin. Haven't you heard what they say? There is no need to build a labyrinth when the whole world already is one. Your meaningless questions will be swept away by the tides of time, only to resurface on the shores of our minds once more.
I love that he's just
We've seen it
glitching.
happen over and over again. Surely you've realized by now, but the only true meaning can be found in literature. For over a century, literature has remained the singular, ultimate answer. This lonely cowboy is simply feeling lost at the moment. Spare us your ramblings, idealist. You're wasting our time.
Enough.
The die that reflects the heart can no longer bear its weight, as it glows from within burning fissures. On the surrounding mirrors, countless reflections of Aleph appear, each wearing a different face. They crowd into the room as a flood of ghosts.
Aleph seems to be in a terrible state. We have to be careful. Something isn't right about that die.
Yeah, I think the die is affecting him to some degree. The room of desire. Oh, that's such a cool design! I mean, this game does boss design like nothing.
Go ahead. Keep the story going. Carry it through until we finally feel the sweet gratification of the ending. Your endeavors are doomed to fail. There's only madness in literature and art, not transcendentality.
Okay, let's see what this recast is. Make the ally with the highest Moxie consume all their current Moxie to cast an ultimate. Then recover the consumed Moxie. Okay. So I probably can do this.
En todos los momentos.
Stars.
Mire. Nuestro aliado es la verdad.
Right? Oh. But it just keeps going. I'm so sorry.
These explorations, these fractures, they're all failures.
You should know that
aren't they?
Impromptu is too strong, Aleph. Better than anyone else. Ironic. Busted Impromptu versus the newest Impromptu member. Yes. It's basically me. I'm a Pokemon trainer. I just beat my Pokemon and now it's time to catch it and join the team. Wondering clear, Impromptu is clear. Dude, Impromptu is meta. And it's gonna be more meta whenever this redhead beauty join us.
In this infinite expanse, I feel nothing but infinite sorrow.
The chaotic battle comes to an abrupt halt.
Wait! Mr. Olive? Are you human?
Benito steps back, lowering her glass feather. She is shocked to realize that her opponent has no arcane skills at all. From beginning to end, all he had was the die. I don't regret pulling Fatutu, but damn, Barcarola is good. I mean, okay, you gotta remember, whenever we were on the Barcarola beginning, there was no like real future clear to Impromptu, so nobody was recommending anyone to pull for Barcarola. Everyone was saying pull for Fatutu because Fatutu is clearly broken, and Barcarola is trying to play a game that so far has no other players with her. But then they just decided to release Impromptu after Impromptu after Impromptu after Impromptu, and now we're here. So again, for most people that skipped Barcarola to get Fatutu, I won't blame you. For me, it was fate in my position, because I got Voyager a day before Barcarola, and I was like, this is a real sign for me to try to do Impromptu, and really is panning out for me. And Recoleta there for emotion support with her poems. Yes, Glasfeder is a German. Glass feather. So yes, her pen. Like the tip of the fountain pen being called a feather in German. Yeah, thank you so much, Dan. Or local German connoisseur. I appreciate all your insights. And that I love German. It sounds so cool. Glasfeder. I think I'm pronounced that right. Glasfeder or something like that. Yes, I feel like I'm somewhere trying there. Wait, if the die have 20 sides and have magical power, does that mean I flirt to a dragon with a natural 20? Does the die create the flirted dragon? IRL. If you really wanted, yes. And I don't think you even need to spin. The die itself is meaningless. But yes, great bard, draggy open.
Please hand over the die peacefully.
Mr. Aleph, please stop resisting. It's futile.
Resistance is futile.
Futile. Yes, it's all futile. The cage of rules, the ideals of literature, both are futile. Mere illusions conjured along the path to transcendentality. They all fear that they're nothing more than phantoms in someone else's dream. That reality will devour everything, including their very existence. That's why they drift further away from transcendentality.
I already had a Voyager built to I3 and only unlocked Euphoria for shits and giggles. Yes. I don't know. If you're so in my case, I really wanted for Tutu whenever everything happened because my strongest team was Nala, and Fatutu being Fatutu worked very well. But I appreciate that I ended up going Barcarola and doing impromptu because now I have like 2 teams that's solid, not just one. And yes, building Voyager just for shits and giggles is very nice. Fun fact, the Reverse official YouTube account posted a short about Gloria's, the typical Willow, Vizolde, Tuesday, Druvis, and there's Aleph. That means Aleph was one of the girls. Willow, Vizolde. Okay, I'll take a look at the YouTube posted. So, it's like a new stuff that just came out?
They couldn't break free from that false dream. None of them could.
Aleph stumbles as he looks up at the storyteller. Oh, it just came out. Okay, so let me go to the YouTubes. Okay, where is what we're talking about? Like, I'm on the Reverse 1999 official YouTube, and there's nothing new. Where are you seeing that? Can you send me the link? Possible?
Both the physician and the idealist walked toward their own destruction, just as I expected.
Oh, okay, sorry. Shorts. I'm just seeing videos. Okay, I never actually look at the shorts very much, so cool. Okay, we can look at that after or by the ending.
Still has
cool,
hope,
thanks for letting me know.
Its ending hasn't been written yet. We cannot deny that it may be the answer to achieving transcendentality.
You're not going to stop, are you? Not until you get your answer. Sinetto, we have no choice but to seize the die from him by force.
Sinetto's arcane energy gathers at the tip of her glass feather. At this moment, the silent storyteller takes a step forward.
Enough. I said enough.
She shakes as she reveals the notebook that has never left her side. Okay. The boundary of fiction. She does not hesitate. (1990) Guadalajara International Book Fair. People move between bookshelves and corridors, engaged in heated conversations. The air is filled with mingling of multiple languages.
I'm afraid we can't publish your novel in its current state, Recoleta. We look forward to seeing more refined work from you in the future. Ah, Senor Cruz! What a pleasure to see you here. I'm an editor from the Naranja Dulce publishing house. Could you spare a moment to discuss the copyright for The Bluebird? We're huge fans of your children's literature.
The editor leaves, hurrying after another writer, leaving Recoleta standing alone in place, the 17th publisher to reject her today. It must feel
relax,
terrible
Recoleta.
to the spirit.
Look at all the books around you. This place is heaven. You can't get down on yourself. Not here. There's so many writers and publishers here. It's only natural you'd be turned down 17 times. This is just the beginning.
That's the positive outlook. Thank you, Drag. I already had it open, but I appreciate nonetheless. I appreciate. The young writer, attempting to forget her 17th rejection, flips through the event guide in her hands.
Now, which section should I visit next? Oh, this brochure might help.
It turns to the last page of the thick handbook, where all the invited authors and their contact details are listed.
Estupendo. An exchange of ideas between writers. Nothing could be more incredible than that. I recall James Joyce was inspired by a letter he received from Henrik Ibsen. So, maybe what I need is to find someone to share my manuscript with.
An apple a
But
day keeps the doctor
who?
away.
Thank you so much for redeeming our apple of the day. I appreciate. Hello, Ellie. How have you been doing? Appreciate you coming. I was actually, I believe, lurking on your stream on the other tab. I hope you were doing fine.
Tadeo Emasums. Aleph. Averroes.
The Aleph was in the list. Are you on the yellow pages? Yes, I am. Not too shabby, thankfully good. I think the last time you came, you were feeling a little bit down, so I'm happy that you're feeling better today. Glad to hear.
Oh, it's you, senor. Don't worry. I promise I'll catch up on the rent next month. Although I must say, this apartment's hardly worth the price. The cracks on the walls must date back to the last century.
Nice. Very hardworking indeed. And I can imagine. Just streaming and working can take a toll on you. But I am glad that you're feeling okay. By the way, guys, as always, Ellie, great friend of the stream, awesome streamer, hard worker, kind person. Let me give Ellie a shout out. Ellie has a permanent shout out for this channel because such a nice person, such a good person. Wait, did the thing showed up? I don't think it worked. Let me try again. Awesome. Here. Cool. Yes. Ellie is the, like, if you ever look for a very wholesome, nice, cozy Minecraft streamer, go give Ellie a shout out, go give him a like, and check out their content. Ellie is a great supporter. You're a good human as well, Ellie. I wish I wasn't a human at all, but this is the cards have been dealt with. That's the whole motto of the stream. We gotta settle for the cards we've been dealt. That is an unchangeable. Even though I am an apple human, different than other just normal humans. Man, Recoleta is me. Are you a failed writer as well, Procedure Gainsborough? I'm so sorry for the hardships you must face on the daily basis.
Make all the excuses you want, Ingrid. If you don't pay the rent soon, you'll either end up in that crumbling colonial building on the corner or on the street, selling oranges at the San Telmo market.
For real, are you a writer? That's cool. What type of things do you write about? Does that mean your flesh tastes like apple, or nobody ever tasted it, so I cannot assure for its flavor? Yeah, not a successful one. I mean, success comes out of just putting yourself out there. You never know when's gonna happen. It just can happen on a snap of a finger. So I am sending you a lot of positive energy that one day people will recognize your work. Fiction, nice. Can I quip inquiring more? What kind of fiction do you write about?
By the way, Julia told me you lost your job at the textile factory. You under some kinda can't work in one place for more than 3 months, curse or something, señorita?
Oh, you don't even want to know about the terrible things that happened in that factory. All I did was lend the oppressed workers a hand.
Bah, you're just like those college kids, full of hot air. Anyway, I am not here about the rent.
Mainly fantasy and sci-fi. Cool. Neat. So we have a Discord channel that has an area devoted to art. If you ever want to join in and share a couple of your stories or a couple of books or anything else that you have written before, be more than happy to use the tavern as an outlet for people to let you know. It's not like the most bustling place, but there's people there, and I think some of them would appreciate getting to know what you write about. Recolette is a character that makes me want to write again. I used to be a part of a writers club at university. Cool. Okay, look at you guys. We have writers and people that used to be writers. You should, most definitely. That sounds very cool. What have you used to write about yourself then? Are you similar to Persuza and a fiction writer, or more of a reality one?
Didn't you tell me to watch out for your letters a while back, when you just returned from abroad? Well, here it is. A letter for you.
The girl freezes for a moment, then snatches the letter and slams the door shut, almost buzzing with excitement as she's unfolded.
Dios mío! Someone actually wrote back to me! This is incredible! Oh, thank you so much for bringing it to me, señor!
I love her enthusiasm about her craft. This is probably the thing that This is probably the thing that I relate most to Recoleta, is that I am very passionate about the few things that I do enjoy, and I probably feel very similar, like her, whenever I get like people talking about it, or I can enjoy people and like really having a debate and an argument about the subject that I really appreciate. So I can completely get her feelings about looking for acceptance and a place to be. I think all of us can in some type of way. Writers, come on guys, give me a shit ton of unilogs with no consequences at all. That's not what writers do at all, Draggy. I don't know where you're coming from. Draggy with simply nothing. Oh, are you a doctor? Can you give me an unilog? Oh, hello little ant. Do you have a unilog? I'm gonna drink some water and maybe some unilogs are gonna pour into my account. That's currently Draggy.
Dear Miss Recoleta, it's from, let's see, Aleph.
You already have 600 unilogs. Come on, leave some for the rest of us.
Hey, I've been watching you. You're not local, are you? What are you writing?
Wait, this is not... isn't this like from Brazil? This is literally that same square where Nala performed and got shot at? First, diaries, then less fantastical and more short stories. Whatever I thought about. You should. Like, there's a lot of places that you can post your short stories. Maybe, online, there's some, like, social medias. You can get a Tumblr page, you can get a blog. I think some people still have blog. You can just write a diary for yourself. There's people even that they share about their diary writing online. So I am a big supporter of you pursuing writing if that's what you want to do for now, just for funsies. Then for sure you should. And again, if you ever want to share some of your stories, go ahead and join the Discord if you ever want to, and share some of your stories over there. I would love to read them. Heartfelt home. It's a heartfelt home, my heartache. Yes, this is basically Brazil and around heartfelt. Sure. Yes.
Oh, hola. You're right. I just arrived in Buenos Aires 3 days ago. My trip's been a lot like a Copes tango performance. full of twists and turns, but nothing much worth telling, really. I'm actually writing a reply to my pen pal. Long story short, I sent him a manuscript of my novel, and to my surprise, he actually wrote back.
9? Well, what's 9? Sorry?
Amazing, isn't it? In our recent letters, we've been discussing how my novel lacks a key character to drive the story toward a decisive ending. So we've been debating whether to introduce a new ghost to act as a turning point for the story.
Oh, so then you're a writer? Hey, Pancho, come over here. I found an actual real-life writer.
What's the big deal? I wrote plenty of poems in middle school.
Sure, good for you.
Oh, so you're a poet. I have a feeling we're about to embark on an incredible adventure together. Are you interested in joining the visceral realism movement?
Vis what? I've never heard of it, but it sounds like fun.
Fabuloso! We have no time to waste. Once I finish this letter, you two must join me on a journey to Ushuaia.
Okay.
Ushuaia? The end of the world? Why the heck would we go to that icebox?
I appreciate how much things just escalate. One recent example in November was when I improvised a Dark Elf script for an ASMR YouTuber, and they actually used it. That's so cool. That's actually so cool. I love ASMR, by the way. If you ever wanna share the link for their video, feel free to do it. It's your work. I would love to showcase it. Well, it was half of your work, but still. Poems. Roses are red, violent. Sorry. Violets are blue. Since you're an apple, you won't escape the monster grapple. Sure. Yeah, recognize me for sure. I hope you can find more writer friends, Prasusa, and then take them to the ends of the world with you.
Oh, don't be such a downer, Pancho. Just think of the fun we'll have, the breathtaking scenery we'll see, and the incredible stories we'll hear.
I think you're just purposefully triggering people right now, Draggy. Which I appreciate. It's very much so you. You better smash that vase very loudly.
Hi, Maria. I'll deal with the gold if you really want to go so badly.
You're actually making the counter position to ASMR. If everybody's just spawning over very soft, quiet noises, go with the loudest ones you can find.
By the way, could you tell us about your novel?
Of course. I'll tell you all about it on the way. Now where to begin? Alright, let's start with the cottage with the blue roof and Amalfitano. It's been 6 months since we first exchanged letters. Since then, I've been traveling. First from Chile to Mexico, then from Mexico to Argentina. And I've never stopped writing. I'm not really sure what the purpose of my novel is. I just keep writing and writing. I can't stop. What power does literature hold? What responsibilities? Perhaps only by continuing to write will I understand one day.
Yes, Draggy's Aleph is breaking, and their other personalities are seeping through. After the long journey, these pages of letters form a faded riddle, their handwriting long since blurred.
Aleph, you're right. I I do want an ending to my novel. But not like this.
You really have no idea, do you, Recoleta?
Her only reader realizes she has still not grasped what is happening, forcing him to reveal a truth he has long concealed.
The rise and fall of sanity is your story.
What do you mean?
You are a ghost, wandering this forsaken land, still striving to create a miracle. You are a wandering poet, born in Amalfitano, the foolishly brave protagonist of the story, and the embodiment of the author herself. A reflection, yes. The author, no. You are simply a figment of her imagination, a manifestation of her dream to wander. Have you not realized it? The literary pursuits and romantic adventures you described, they are merely faded memories from 1975.
Damn, to travel many places like that, she must be rich. Get it? Because this prison's sanity is rising and falling and rising and falling, and I get it.
The poets who joined the visceral realism movement with you left Latin America long ago.
For sure, I get it.
Faded memories.
As for the novel, it's yours now. A story you're writing. A story about yourself. Your departure has turned Amalfitano into a ghost town. The characters have lost their connection to you. They're gradually fading away. If the novel is destroyed, you too will cease to exist.
Wait. This is... Miss Recoleta? Is what he said true?
What?
I know you never lie, pen pal. In your first letter, you told me that a character's role in fate must be determined from the outset and consistently adhered to throughout the story. Reading the perspective and insights of a walking encyclopedia, having such a person be willing to share their thoughts at all was an exhilarating experience. I had never imagined my novel could develop in this way. Words could hardly describe how I felt in that moment. No one but you has ever understood the story of that town, let alone offered any revisions. Following your advice, I added the bank clerk, the dune pescator, the blind weaver, and the murdered donkey driver. Amalfitano was no longer an empty town with a single blue-roofed cottage. The new ghostly residents had begun to fill the skies over it. The story was finally reaching completion. I could feel that the ending was within reach. I became increasingly eager to meet my pen pal. I couldn't get the thought out of my mind. I wasn't sure what I would say to this Aleph. A simple thank you, perhaps? Or maybe a discussion about the future of Amalfitano with its sole reader. Or maybe I'm no different from everyone else. Led up the garden path by fate. But even if I am a ghost, as you say, an incarnation of someone else, a fictional being, so what? My resolve will not waver, even if my existence is bound to fade away, because this isn't what literature is supposed to be. You once told me there isn't an ounce of reality in fiction, only voids and glorified lies. Let me tell you this. Whether real or fictional, corporeal or intangible, I have accepted my existence.
That's so cool.
Now, let's put a stop to this, Aleph.
So, is Recoleta just a figment of fiction?
The inmates aren't characters in my novel. They're people trapped in a prison, just as you are. By simulating my story here, you have made me into some kind of god. A guilty, false creator. A dictator of fate. I never wanted any of this.
That's... What? Amalfitano. Ghost.
Lo veo. La frecuencia perfecta. La admirable aleatoriedad del destino. Creo que lo he encontrado. La fuente del dado de Babilonia.
Las deudas de los muertos. Esas facturas. Todas han sido hechas trizas.
I don't even... did she?
Ya no estoy atrapado.
Desde el día en que perdí la vista, nunca imaginé que la rueda giratoria volviera a girar.
Saxophone Zen, I know how to do it. Stars. Stars. My next performance, bubbles bursting. Je vois ton destin. Fading. Yes. Great.
Really? We're just showcasing that Recoleta with the impromptu team would also be strong. In a way. Shattered words and ghostly illusions roar forth, breaking free from the story's structure and the gaps between its lines, filled with regret and obsession. Torn letters and book pages flutter in the air like snow in a crystal globe on a winter night. Everything is quiet.
Huh? Miss Recoleta has vanished. Did she really cease to exist like Aleph said?
Recoleta.
Damn. Ghost of the past. Okay, we're not gonna finish this today. I need to bounce, and there's still some stories, and I want to take my time with this. I don't want to hurry it up just because eventually I need to go. So I'm just gonna finish this, see the short, yes, and I'll call it for today. But we're gonna finish this on Monday, and then we're gonna do the other content that are available to me to do, because there's a lot of stuff built up, there's a lot of things accumulated, and if there is still time, I will start Recoleta character story. I'm crossing my fingers, it's a good one.
I wonder what the people back in Cremona think about me.
Okay, this is all for today on Reverse. Let me just hop into the YouTube shorts. Nice! By the way, welcome to the Discord, Dan. I appreciate your sharing a couple of your work there. Guys, Dan actually posted the video over on the art gallery that he was part of the you wrote the script for the Dark Elf character. Cool. Neat. Well, I'll take a look afterwards. Thank you so much. Now, let's see. Okay, you posted a couple of shorts. We're gonna watch them. Let me open
Oh, scusi.
them.
I
Give
didn't
me
mean to
just
interrupt
a quick
you.
second.
The best musical compositions always include silence and rest, after all.
Okay. Okay, this is the first one. Okay, is the first one Melania and then Jessica? I don't know if it's Melania, by the way. Madpock and then Aleph. Yeah, I think you're just showing all the deranged characters. First was Zolde. Really? This is a Zolde? Damn, I didn't recognize her at all. Cool. Okay, second one.
I'm beautiful.
Okay.
I'm big. I'm brave. I'm beautiful.
Aww. Such a sweet baby. Some official promo is so out of pocket, yes. And now this.
Not mess with my gang, or you'll be messing with Oopie Goopy, General Munchkin Man, Lil Jim Bob, and worst of all, Larry.
No,
You better not mess
Larry.
with my gang,
I
or you'll
love
be
Larry.
messing with Oopie Goopy, General Munchkin Man,
Jim
Lil Jim
Bob,
and worst of all, Larry.
Also, yes, that image of Zelda is from the Chapter 6 trailer. Dude, have I never watched it? Because I don't remember that at all. Crazy. Okay, one day I need to do all the trailers tier list. You face with Larry. If Larry looks like this, I would be more than happy to face it. But no. Okay, thank you so much. That was so fun. Now is that beautiful time that I find someone that I can raid on. Send you guys the way of someone very cool and special and to take care of you for the rest of the day if you guys still want to enjoy. Let's see who's online. Hi, Boo Boo Foo. Yes. Neo is playing reverse, and I haven't raided Neo in a while, so might as well give that a go. Boom, boom, dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Merui is also streaming. They're opening Utu card packs that they forgot that they got. Okay, I never actually raided a Merui because I didn't even knew that they actually streamed over on YouTube or on Twitch. But sure, I've already used so much of Murray's content on my lifetime on reverse that raiding them seems speeding. So guys, we're gonna be raiding and going. Thank you so much for everybody that came around. I appreciate you all. Oh, okay, apparently they stopped streaming. They just left the stream open. Oh no, I think the stream is still happening. Sorry. Okay, let's raid them. Sorry, I was just reading their chat and it was kind of messing me up. But we're gonna raid them. They don't mind. Thank you so much, everyone. We're gonna raid this spoiler, man. Hopefully there's no much spoilers there today. Have a good one. I'm gonna actually stream tomorrow. Etheria, the new gacha game. It's gonna be a new gacha game tomorrow, just to see if it's good or not. But yes, see you all the next one. For rating, don't forget to be kind to yourselves and to each other, and you know the rest. Archer is out.